table, we have a team dedicated to Iono, a lovely gym leader from the Paldea region, and then on the other side we have Caution. So I'm looking forward to seeing whether they will be cautious in their approach. We don't want to see too much hesitancy in this game. This is a game decided by action, by fast drives, and good defense, and quick movement, because it's Splatoon. I tripped on my words, and it's Splatoon on the best map mode in the game, Robo Ramen. Let's go. Okay, the biased Dynamo player aside, our first
That's why you love it.
Yeah, I'm not biased at all. I don't bring it up literally every time this map shows up. What do you mean? Nobody will go back and clip all of those times that I've said specifically that throughout all of my games. Never.
Hey, but my bucket player and I, when I'm like, I'll bring out Dread, and my bucket player is like, I will remain on my bucket. And we're like, let's go Robo Zones. Yeah.
Hey, this is always a great map to start off with. It's a very dynamic map, and I feel like it's one of, if not the best Splat Zones map in the game. Again, I am biased, but I do genuinely believe that it's just a very dynamic map, as I always have said, and I'm wondering how the teams are able to capitalize off it, because I'm looking at through Caution right here, at least what we can maybe be able to see on their Sendo profile, and I'm seeing like a fairly balanced team, but nothing that like particularly thrives on a map like Ramen, except for this one player who is seemingly a Dread player, which
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, mind you, I have one of the proudest moments of my competitive career on this map, which is the greatest Reef Slider cancel in the world, where I rolled over a Reef Slider, and I have never been prouder of myself in my life.
You do have to be careful of the Reef Sliders on this map. Dreadringer has a really fun playground on this map, and you're just like you said with Dynamo as well, just anything with like lots of verticality that you can play off of with those sloshers, with stuff like Dynamo. And of course, because this map is so good at forcing people just from the map design to sort of clump up if they don't stay aware of where everybody is. And then that is just the perfect geometry coming forth in the Dread's mind, being like, I have calculated the exact point to explode my Reef Slider.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of Reef Sliders. I'm also expecting a lot of splashdowns. I saw this earlier when I was commenting for Padding Pool earlier today. This is one of the best splashdown map modes in the game as well, because that zone is just like the absolute perfect size for a splashdown to just immediately, like, if not take back, immediately neutralize zone, and it's just very easy to combo with. So I'm expecting to see a lot of weapons such as like the new Jet Squelcher, maybe some Dapple Dualies. I mean, what does Iono got on their side?
Yeah, Iono does have, I took one look at Apex's profile and it made me laugh for just born to one-shot charger, forced to pen, so Apex might be playing pencil on here. But yeah, we've got pastry on that decap, but I did see Dynamo!
Yes!
There we go!
Excited right here as we got a gold Dynamo pencil, S-Blast, and a decap from Iono here. A very aggressive comp going against a similarly aggressive but slightly different comp on the side of Caution, trading out a Splatana for a splash. It's already 3 down on the side of Iono. Oh no! And this will immediately allow Caution to get in there, establish some pressure. Decaf is better than Splatana, ladies and gentlemen. Not because of skill, but because of whatever that hitbox is. As we're already 30 seconds into the game, and there is Carnage in the midboard. It looks like it's going to flip back over to Iono as that Dynamo is heading into the base.
Yeah, 2 of them are going to go down on Iono, though, but they knew how to move forward. It's really cool seeing the Dread be able to move in, get some nice picks, and also with the Dread being able to get like a nice little Reef Slider there. Gonna go down to that Booyah, but, you know, I saw the vision, unfortunate timing, but you can do so many fun things with these ledges here, being able to slosh from cover. But I think we're going to end up seeing a lot of really fun sword fights, like we might have another one coming up here between, yet again, both swords here. But first, Kaboop is going to go for a zip, but it's going to get taken out by Cola Flame's S-Blast, but time is still ticking down. Caution is in the lead at this point. Iono is looking to poke in right now.
Yeah, with this Booyah Bomb, they're trying to reestablish control. They were able to neutralize it, and with this Booyah Bomb and Bubbler, they might be able to do it. That's one down on either side, though, and with that, most of their painting opportunity is down. Despite having a pencil and a dynamo, they are a rather slow comp, and like when I say slow, I don't mean in terms of movement, that the dynamo does have a movement penalty. Your painting is great, but it is not as fast as a traditional like shooter-focused comp, as we see right here. They are counting down on that timer, though, trying to reestablish the lead. Skabooba going around the side right here, trying to get some picks, and probably going to get that jump. That time it's a trade, so you know you run it back second time. He's like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this position. You're right. Reef Slider right there, unfortunately, takes out the dynamo as we're going into 3 minutes left on the clock. Caution is in lead right here and hoping to keep that lead even larger as they are finally done with their penalty.
Yeah, and now with the specials coming out, we had a cooler. We also have the Booyah coming out. This is going to start paving the way for Iono to start getting in. But obviously, you know, that Booyah's not going to be enough to cap zone. And also those Trumps getting shot down. The boys have been destroyed, but Pastry, along with the others, and a Bubble, able to cap that zone. But, you know, we talked about that dynamo. Like, if you've got that high ground, you do have a decent amount of range here. And just those horizontal flicks are so nasty. Getting another pick over that wall, like I was talking about what the Dread was doing over on Caution, being able to set up shop there and just sort of feast there while the rest of the team can clean up for you. Really, really great teamwork. And this just... This is where Iono wants to be. If they can go for a big hold, this could be game. Even though I know we're at 50, but
Yeah, no, this is a very good, a comp with a lot of poking potential, as I like to say. They do have zone neutralized right there, but they are able to hold it right here. Pastry doing their best to just prevent the rest of Caution from getting in. Unfortunately, goes down right there, but it looks like they will manage to take lead right here. Dynamo doing its best to just keep it everybody off zone. Gets the double swing right there. That's what we like to see. Lemon coming around right here. They are able to take zone and probably pop this bubble before somebody gets in. Immediate decaf comes in and swings. Dynamo unfortunately goes down right there. And now, once again, Caution is in control with only 10 points left on their penalty and 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. This could still be anyone's game. Iono needs to reestablish control. They're probably going to lose lead right here, but they can very much get in here with this crab and maybe these chumps that are about to come out.
Yeah, this is such a map mode that plays for the knockout. So even though this is 25 to 23 right now, Iono's still in the lead here, but if Caution can set up here and hold again, like this is a knockout map mode, which is why you see like no lead is safe. It can go either way. We have less than a minute to go, and I have no idea what is going to happen in the next 30 seconds.
I mean, well, we just saw a wipeout right there. I don't know how Scoop got around the side right there, but they were able to pop two, and the rest of the team was able to clean it up right here. This is exactly what Caution needs. This Zipcast needs to be huge right here. Unfortunately, only just gets a trade on the Dynamo, but that will take Caution down, or Iono down to 2. Most of their painters are gone, and they do not have a way to easily get into zone, meaning that Caution will take lead right here. Only 15 seconds left on the clock. That Booyah Bomb might get a pick, but it is not going to be enough to neutralize zone. Cooler coming out right here. They need to move in now if they want to have a chance, but they can't afford to lose anyone. Reef Slider coming in, trying to secure hold. It does stop, and that is the end of the game. The zone flipping after the timer goes off. That'll be Caution taking the game 1-0 as we head into round 2.
Yeah, that's the thing about, you know, those painter weapons that we had on Iono do put down a lot of paint. Like that Dynamo, you know, it's no like Splatoon 1 paint, but it still can put some nice paint. But yeah, it just comes out so much slower.
I pray for the day where they actually buff Dynamo. The last the surprise patch notes, I was like, and then there was a big swig buff. And
that's not my roller.
And I was so sad. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what else did they buff, Gal? Okay. All right.
Yeah, we needed that.
Yeah, we definitely needed that. Yeah. Anyways, I won't be salty even despite the fact that we're going to the seaside at Manta Maria Rainmaker here. I love turning it back around at the end of the day, which hopefully we will get to see Iono turn it around and hopefully bring us to a 1-1 to go into a game 3, because Manta Maria Rainmaker is a map that, with the comp that they're running, is very doable. Maria's a very good Dynamo map. It's not the best, so I could very much see them swapping off of it, but it's It's got a lot of good angles for poking. I could see the decav and the S-Blast working well. They may trade out the pencil for something, but pencil is such a good weapon that honestly, most teams feel pressure to keep it.
Yeah, I know some will swap on Rainmaker specifically to something that has more object damage. I think it's, if you're good at bow, then sure. I think it makes sense if you're like, yeah, I like pocket bow for certain things. But I also know a lot of pens who are like, yeah, that's a totally different weapon class, and I'm just not nearly as good at it. So they're like, yeah, I will take my the consistency that I have with this weapon over. Oops, I won't really be able to help with the Rainmaker shield as much. Like, it's fine.
The mechanics are completely different, to be fair.
Yeah, they're
completely
so different.
Weapon class, despite the fact that they are both anchors. They serve different purposes. I always love it when we get to see a good bow, and who knows, maybe one team will switch to it. Like we said, I mean, after such a back and forth game like that, I'm hoping that the second is the same. Because every time I've been on here on SOS, all of the games have been super back and forth for the most part. Like, a lot of them are back and forth, but I usually always get like 2-0s. I never have like a 1-1 step. I have like the most close games you have ever seen in your life, but it's always 2-0. And I'm like, maybe this will be the time we change it. And I am hoping so, as I am wanting to stay on and call and calm here for as long as possible as we head into game 2. This is an interesting comp on the side of Iono.
Yeah, so I know, yeah, we did see, I mentioned Apex earlier being 0, loving the one-shot chargers. So swapping that, we do still have a sort of like double anchor-ish sort of setup on Iono. I think with that charger, if you can have those two longer range weapons really, especially that rapid, you can play it very aggressively. However, the opening not going to go Iono's way. They were got taken out pretty well. And even though Caution would down some people, they still have a decent amount of map control. Trying to go for this dunk, but just that Dread had such a good angle on them, even though the Dread gets taken out, that is still going to be no checkpoint broken just yet. Skaboop going in with the zip, going to be forced to come back. And Zero just trying to like get the angle on them, but just awkwardly not able to. So they're going to have to set up yet again and try to keep holding back from the enemy going through their street at this point. But fortunately for Iono, this is going to stop here so long as nobody does a cheeky move and they can move on forward.
Yeah, Iono really needs to play together right here. They managed to fall all apart at the beginning there because they were very spread out. Their skirmisher died in the opening push to the Rainmaker, despite the fact that they got popped. Beautiful reef slider right there. Somehow doesn't get the person on the wall, but does cause the rest of the team to surrender. This bubble will allow them to definitely get this pop of the Rainmaker and maybe get some points and definitely at least take lead. Going down the right side trench right here, that crab will probably put a stop to Rainmaker. Yes, it does. That is 2 down on the side of Iono. Make it 3 down. Zero needs to get out of there if they don't want to get splatted. They need to get their team a good way to get into the map. Trying to hold area in mid right here. Decaf takes down the other. That's 2 down. They can try to maybe push back towards the Rainmaker. Able to get one right here. Patsy is able to do it. You need to pick up that Rainmaker before it resets. There you go. That is unfortunately one of the best curling bomb placements I have ever seen, which was probably not intentional, but it did its job. As we're heading into 3 minutes left here on the clock. So far, Iona's got a great position and they might be able to take it home.
Yeah, if they can just drop it, especially with those strikes coming out. One of them, Zero's going to grab it and drop it. The Reef Side are going to put paint down and force people away. Not able to end it, but a push all the way down to 7? Even though that's going to be the end of that push for Iono, they've got a really good lead here. So at this point, we're halfway through. They can just sort of try to play for a neutral situation. You can still play aggressively, but you don't have to expend every single resource you have. And you see, like, they're keeping Caution. Well, I was going to say they're keeping Caution locked in their street. Like Grimley said, I don't think so. And, got a double right there.
Yeah, it's just a skirmish right here. 3 down on the side of Iono, but they respawn quickly, probably thanks to a cooler or something from their lovely blaster right here. It does seem like Caution is able to take back control of mid, but their skirmisher is already picked back down. That crab tank will help them hopefully get a good way in, maybe get some picks or at least disperse the rest of the team. But it looks like it wasn't able to accomplish too much. Right now, they do have all of their teammates. They just need to find a good entryway in, but with that Dreadringer above, it might be a bit much. They are able to get a pick, make that 2. Their skirmisher does go down right here, but Zero may not be able to get the shot with that pressure. They are not. Strike's coming out right here, hoping to just push him back. Clips the Rainmaker, but does not get the kill. Lemon just doing their best, and unfortunately goes down right here. We got a minute 30 left on the clock. It is very much possible for Caution to do this. A little fight on the side. Crab Tank coming out right here. Nate doing his best to just give it pressure. Does manage to kill it. That is 3 down on the side of Caution, and I think Iono has recaptured their lane.
Yeah, really good defense there. Caution was really, really pressuring, at least a challenge for that lead, because you get a huge number of points when you're able to drop it into your opponent's trench to go towards the goal. Like, you drop and you gain points so fast. But Caution able to just hold it there in their streak, gonna have that reset at this point. And it looks like, oh, they were going to bring it over to that far right side, but unfortunately that did not happen. They went down before they touched the ground, so that is going to be still in the streak here. Colaflame trying to pick him out, and there's that drop all the way down to 21 just from a quick drop down in there. And they could keep going. They could keep going it. They're gonna pop it. They're gonna run. They're trying to
the reset right there. That was that was Iono getting the reset right there. The rest of Caution was backing out.
I need to have some Caution.
Maybe just a little bit. I will say at the end there, I'm going to say that maybe like the Rainmaker not spawning down there was a little saving grace, because if it did, they might have just been able to immediately go into base and get some free points. But they might be able to take a lead right here. That suction bomb, though, is going to put a stop to the Rainmaker. However, it is very possible for Caution to take this. They need to get this Rainmaker off quickly, which looks like they're about to do. Skaboop standing still for some reason. No, the Rainmaker is held in the bubble, and that will be game 2. Iono tying the set 1-1. We are going to game 3 here, folks. Woo!
See, we are going to a game 3. No 2-0 happening here.
I get what I want. I'm happy.
You got a Dynamo in game 1.
I get a game 3 like situation, first set on Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market. Lovely. Probably top 10 map mode in the game. Okay, somebody disagrees.
I actually do. I like Haggle Zones. I am wondering, comp-wise, how both teams are going to fare here. I do know, I mean, obviously, we've played this game long enough. Hagglefish has been in Splatoon 3 since day one. If you're a good charger and your team can keep you from getting run down, you can get some really, really nice sight lines here. And I know we do have that charger player over on Iono.
That we do in a pencil or ZNF would be very useful here. Both specials very useful. Both weapons just wonderful weapons to shut down enemy pushes and whatnot. As you mentioned, there's great sight lines both from the top canopy as well as just near the zone area itself. This is going to be a game, once again, like the last 2 games are back and forth. This will be a game maybe more back and forth than the first 2. Though also to maybe play devil's advocate, this is also a map that you can get pushed back in. Maybe not so much on zones, but it is very possible that if a team has enough offensive pressure, they could lock the other team in their spawn. Though what I've seen from either team so far this set, I don't know if that's necessarily possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And sometimes if a team overextends going into spawn, they get like punished really hard on that offense and being like, whoop, we overheated. But it'll be interesting to see here. I mean, I think Caution does have the tools to really keep Zero in check.
Dynamo charger comp right here. As somebody who played with this for a long time, this is a very tricky comp to manage, especially when you don't have something like a shooter. But with the combination of the decav and a Dreadringer, they might just have enough paint and mobility to do it. A similar comp we saw to round 1 for Caution. It seems we're going back to basis. Iono gets control right here and an early cooler right now for 3 members of the team, just pushing in. Dynamo hanging below 10. doing what Dynamo does and just poking anyone who dares get out of position, trying to do their best to hold position right here. Call goes down. Unfortunately, that's 2 members down. They need to, all still maintaining things, they need to do that. That bubble gets shredded right here by Chai, trying to get the pick on that decaf, and with the help of their teammates, they do. However, already, we're less than a minute in, and Iono has already marked off over half of their points. Caution is able to take it back right here. Skabab finally dealing with that Dynamo, but they finally take control right here. It seems like this is the offensive push they need as 2 more go down on the side of Iono.
Yeah, I think it was a triple. All just from that stamper over on Caution. Even though Iono had such a good opening, even when we saw they went down because they had such a quick early cooler, and Chai on the not Chai, Pastry on the decaf was able to keep people at bay, so that even though there's just things going back and forth consistently, Iono able to get back in, even though they went down, but just this is so back and forth.
Triple kill leading to a wipeout right there from the Dread Ringer. That bubble on their Iono side will go down, but it served its purpose. It gave them a little foothold that they need to work down this penalty that's now going to be coming out. Try going to pop a crab right here, trying to get some picks as well as just help with painting the mid zone right here. They got a jump in mid that they try to capitalize on, but that Dynamo is threatening them and they back off of that thing. Another wonderful reef slider right there. Only 3 minutes left on the clock, but only 20 points left on the side of Iono. Caution needs to get some picks. That's 3 down. This is what they need, and they managed to flip zone back in their control. The Dynamo off to the side, just doing its best. That gets 2 kills with the help of the decaf. Chai, unfortunately, getting run down right here, but has some help from a jumped in teammate. That is what they need. They are still holding both sides of this thing, and that Zipcaster might be what they need in order to get back in there. They need to get some picks. With 2 down, they need to move in there fast, and with this capture, I want to see a good offense.
Yeah, oh, and they just took out the Dread Ringer over on Iono. Huge. Every time they pick out that Dread Ringer, that is basically the best, that is the best painter over on Iono. So anytime they can get that, the Dynamo's not going to be able to put out paint as quickly as that Dread can. And of course that Dread, we've seen so many good reef sliders from Colo Flame. I think that Caution needs to keep a really close eye on whenever Iono has specials up, especially Colo Flame's reef slider.
Yeah, right now, once again, Caution pushed back into the base, not as far as they have been right here. Gremlin trying to get in, unfortunately, immediately shut down right there. Both teams just vying for control of Caution's stairwell right here. Pastry just using this barrier to great maneuverability. Unfortunately, lunges a bit farther than they needed to. 2 strikes to that crab will take it out, but once again, the zone flips over to Caution, and that's seemingly almost a delayed wipe. Just the Dynamo player left. They eventually jump out right there. Caution needs to push a bit forward. They need to take some ground in Iono's base if they want to keep them out. They need to bomb that charger, and they also need to keep that Dynamo out of there. They're holding on to their own reef slider, waiting for somebody to jump down, trying to support that Zipcaster. Unfortunately goes down. Maybe should counter reef right here. No, goes down before they can activate it. This could give Iono what they need to charge back in. Crab trying to counter this offensive push right here. They do take down 2 members of Iono and seem to scatter the rest. 1 jumps back, and they manage to hold on to zone right here. They are trying to play this in. They are working down that penalty right now.
Yeah, but it's going to be really tough again. Whenever, you see Cola Flame on the Dread Ringer has special again, and strikes are coming out. This Dread, as soon as they pop this Reef Slider, that's going to cap that zone. And here it comes now. All they have to do, Iono doesn't have to gain any more points. They don't have to go through their penalty at this point. So long as they have a Reef Slider ready, they know they can cap that zone, which means Caution really, they need to be so super aware of where Cola Flame is at any point right now, who've got eyes on right now with 10 seconds left to go in this match-defining game. The Reef Side are going to come out from Caution, not able to totally take that zone until now. We are now into overtime. Skaboop able to get a really sick pick on that now you see Caution moving in. They are throwing Caution to the wind. They know our win con, we have to go take them out. We have to make sure this Dread does not get in, but the strike's not going to be online, and the timer is still going down. What do you think is going to happen?
Two down on the side of Iono of Caution right now. They need to fall back, but still make sure they can get it. But unfortunately, that wipe is going to secure the win for Iono. They will take this set 2-1. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to talk about it, but they had some nasty little special cancels on that Zipcaster and the Reef Slider before overtime there. Caution was able to get back in there and use those specials a bit more effectively in their last little push, but unfortunately, it was they got overwhelmed and picked off one by one, allowing Iono to take this set 2-1. What a great first set to open the night on.
That was a sick set. I loved it. Sick and nasty, slash positive. That was really, really back and forth. And yeah, I mean, you see with the Dread on both sides, just how much paint it can put out on its own without even thinking about the rest of the kit. But when you have that, when you're on the team that had the stronghold, and you've got your Dread pretty reliably getting a Reef Slider ready, all right, we just gotta pop the slider on there occasionally. And Caution did a great job of taking space when they needed to at the end, but I think in some ways it was almost overzealous, because then they just completely left the zone unchecked.
Very much so. I mean, hey, despite the though their name, you don't want to be hesitant in this game, like I mentioned earlier, you do need to be cautious at the end. And for the most part, they were doing a good job of being just that, cautious. Unfortunately, at the end there, they threw their caution to the wind in a last-ditch attempt to hold Iono in their base, and they unfortunately got picked off one by one just due to the absolute poking potential of Iono's comp, and they were able to secure that map. Hey, I saw 2 Dynamo games. I saw robo ramen zones. I saw Hagglefish zones, which usually is that's fine, but I got what I wanted. I can calm the rest of this tournament. Absolutely elated now. I don't have to be hoping that there's going to be a Dynamo in every single set, because I've already got what I wanted. And right now it looks like our next set is ready, as we're going to be heading into round 2 right here. Big Fat Sea Cows versus Nuclear Fusion. Okay, now I'm familiar with the Big Fat Sea Cows. They kicked my my friend's butt last time 2 times ago when I calmed them, and I'm looking to see them kick butt here again.
They kicked my butt over during Riptide. During I want to say that was the first day of pools. I saw who was in our group, and I was like, dang it, we gotta fight Big Fat Sea Cows. I was the victim of Neptune's Zukas from across the map on Barnacle. The match ended. I went over, gave Neptune a giant hug while saying, "I hate you." Neptune gleefully smiling and saying, "I love me."
Hey, self-love is important, and we always love that out here. Speaking of self-love, nothing better like self-love than Nuclear Fusion, am I right? Or is it Nuclear Fission? It's Nuclear Fission on Sendo, and that's what I don't know. But looking at there, I'm seeing a lot of all over the place. There's a bamboozler marked on one player. I don't know if that's actually a thing. That is a backline anchor player, a bit of Slosher, a bit of Hydra. I'm hoping some Hydra would be very fun to see. We got a Skirmisher right here going from Subtle. Hey, I'm not too familiar with these guys. Rose, do you know them much?
Over on Nuclear Fusion, not so much, but I do see that. I mean, 3 out of 4 of them are players on USF Gold, so they're in the collegiate scene, some big Fat Sea Cows. And Lucky is the captain of a team name that has some scientific notation that I've seen before in Splatoon for commentating a set. You couldn't tell me exactly what it is, but it might have something to do with nuclear fusion. I haven't taken a science class since the late 2000s.
Oh gosh, that makes me feel old right there. Also, I was wrong. There is so fun fact, friends. I have often touted how much I love the names of these teams right here that come to these games. There's a nuclear fusion and a nuclear fission, as in fission. because it's Splatoon and we love our marine puns. And speaking of marine puns, we're going in to our first game right here on Umami Zones. This is also one of my favorite maps right here in the game. We got a carbon roller on the side of Nuclear Fusion. Hopefully that'll be able to get in and get some picks. A very standard looking comp from Big Fat Sea Cows, not the one that I fought against, but hey, I'll take it. I love watching them play regardless. Unfortunately, one member goes down right here to a good punch from the carbon, allowing them to take control of one zone and start pressuring another right here. Cooler coming out right now, one down on either side. Just a lot of skirmishing in mid. Toto able to get 2 right here, allowing them to just keep pushing in right here, make that 3. Toto on a rampage right now, going for the 4th. They are trying to get it right here, pushing into that headed. They are able to take zone right here while the rest of the team paints. Tai unfortunately going down right there. Their killer getting a quick little jump out. We're going down to 67 points right here as we head into only a minute in the game.
Yeah, strong opening. Even though Big Fat Sea Cows, they lost their shot really quickly early on in this game, they came back really quickly, and now you see Neptune. Neptune's the one tearing it up. But everybody on Big Fat Sea Cows is playing forward and aggressively. You can tell they want to hold forward on this map. On this map, you can absolutely lock them out. And I think, as we saw earlier, the Wiper jumping out and repositioning, they're also doing a good job of not overextending, and they only have to hold it for a little bit longer, but that carbon is going to at least, provide a little bit of poking power, but that does mean Nuclear Fusion has to cap the zone, both zones now.
With these strikes, they're looking to do it right here. They flip it, and that is a massive penalty on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows that they're going to work down if they want to try to get this game into a knockout. Nuclear Fusion's trying to show that they're lasting a while, just like Nuclear Waste out here. They're wanting to keep this game going for as long as possible. A missed hammer swing from Tutu right now. Unfortunately, the Carbon player does go down. Lux doing their best to move in here. They do get one more pick right now. That's 3 in total on this little push, allowing Lux and Neptune to go down, get in, but Neptune goes down right there. Tai doing their best to 1v1, gets their revenge against the Splatana. Get another with a nice Zuka shot and able to pressure the pencil off of the thing. They are pushing back in there, and those strikes will hopefully allow them to once again take zone.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nuclear Fusion hasn't been able to have a nice stronghold on zone. There's so much paint coming out from Big Fat Sea Cows, and they're doing such a good job of holding base. But now with 3 members down on Big Fat Sea Cows, Nuclear Fusion is moving forward right now. You want to make sure that they don't overheat here and overextend, but they did just use a couple resources. They're going to have to get a couple more resources ready. At this point, just hold positions where they don't get taken out by Big Fat Sea Cows. They are going to strike that dome, at least to force Big Fat Sea Cows to abandon it for a moment. But I have a feeling with that cooler out now on both sides, and with more specials coming out, it is about to become a bloodbath.
Yeah, very much so. We see Neptune trying to come out to the side there. They already lost their Wiper player, but Neptune's able to get 2 good shots with that Zuka right there. Bop, bop. Tai is able to take them out and then immediately jump out. Great usage of the cooler quick super jump, and unfortunately goes down to the pencil right here. Big Fat Sea Cows has managed to neutralize one zone, and they have recaptured the other, giving them back this thing. Once again, Tai trying to get some Zuka shots out right here. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to make any. They need the support of their team if they want to get in here, as once again, Big Fat Sea Cows is in control, though they've lost zone control for in order to gain points, allowing Nuclear Fusion to just quickly respawn in and get back in there.
Yeah, they got all the way down to 39 from Nuclear Fusion. They're going to have to do another push and be able to hold on to it, because they do have 43 penalty points now. Big Fat Sea Cows obviously wants to make sure that they go through all their penalty points and knock this out just for a quick, easy win. But we have 1 minute left to go, and they have now lost control of one of the zones, looking to be like the other one now. So now we're in Nuclear Fusion's control. But the pencil player's been doing a really good job. We've seen them get some nice picks here, but unfortunately this time they were just out of position and taken out at this point. But you see, just it does not let up from Big Fat Sea Cows, and we have constant Zukas flying across the map, like those Zukas I complained about from Neptune over during Riptide. But Tai's Zukas over on Nuclear Fusion on that roller have been doing a lot of work too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Anchor looks like has been taking the 1v1 in most cases of Super 1v1 right here. Fizzle is able to get a pick right here, one down on each side as we only have 18 seconds left in the game. Nuclear Fusion just doing their best to hold on to this. If they can hold on to zone for just a bit longer, they will take game. However, Big Fat Sea Cow is able to take back zone on one side, jumping out right here to get as many missiles as possible. That'll not only disperse the members of Nuclear Fusion, but also get some pain on the ground. But it looks like it isn't enough. We go into overtime right here. Both zones are highly contested right now. Strikes coming out right now. One of the zones needs to be captive in order to overtime to keep going. But no, Big Fat Sea Cows is able to retake zone, and they will take the first game in this set.
Oh my gosh. You know, that got nail biting at the end. Those strikes, man. Just throw the triple strikes and pray and be like, please.
I love just
tough, though.
Yeah, I love just throwing them like straight up in the air and like the delay of strikes, and then the strikes all like hit around the same time, and it's just like and seemingly what happened right there and allowed Big Fat Sea Cows to just get zone control really quickly just to end the game, even if it would have probably fallen off right at the end there, because for those who don't know, if no zone control is had when it goes into overtime, it stops after 5 seconds. The match just ends. So it was I don't know if the other team would have been able to get control of the zone in the first place, but those strikes certainly sealed the deal.
Yeah, and it's tough with the double zones, having to juggle paint on both of them, especially in overtime. It's like, number one way to increase my heart rate is, Umami zones in overtime when I need to hold the zone, hold both zones.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful. Now, Inkplot Art Academy Tower TC is not as stressful as that, maybe? I mean, hey, I've had some really stressful games on this, as well as some really iconic moments. I keep flashing back to the one SOS where I saw a double reef slider come up just the ramp right there and absolutely wreck house, and that lives rent-free in my brain every single time I think of this map mode rotation. So, maybe we'll see something crazy like that. Maybe not on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows, because I didn't see much reef action from them, but anything can happen.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I would not be surprised if we have still Zuka and strikes from Big Fat Sea Cows going into Inkplot Tower. And I'll be interested to see what we get over on the side of Nuclear Fusion. Looks like we've got pretty much only a slight change over on Big Fat Sea Cows. We do still have Taya on that carbon deco, and not a whole lot of changes here.
Ironically, Big Fat Sea Cow swaps off their strikes weapon for a cooler, which, mind you, cooler is always amazing. Luck's already an early pick right there and just immediately super jumps out like, yep, I got the splat, I'm out of here. Jumps back in, and that's what you need in Splatoon. You need to stay alive. Your life is more important than the death of the enemy team, because it means that you have advantage still. Neptune, quick little pop off the Zuka right there, unfortunately goes down to Tai. Just a bloodbath in mid right here. Both teams just vying for control. It does seem like Big Fat Sea Cows is able to establish a bit of a dominance and force Nuclear Fusion back into their base. They need to get some more paint on the ground, specifically in Nuclear Fusion's base, as they're working down this checkpoint right here. They were seemingly able to get through the check when they do it. Yep, right there, that is the confirmation. I guess it had one little teeny tiny tick, but they were able to get it. Fizzle is now out here getting a counter cooler right here. Now Fizzle and Nuclear Fusion are just trying to get in there, though I wonder if that suction bomb will kill the person on tower. It does not.
Yeah, very good job of going around the tower post, making sure they're like, okay, I am directly on the other side of the tower post and I have no damage on me. I will live this suction bomb. I did wonder for a moment. I was like, no, is that suction gonna get them?
I've done that so many times. I'm like, I'm on the other side of the pole. It won't hit me. Bang. And I'm like, well.
But now we have still Big Fat Sea Cows still moving in through Bat's area. They are going to lose their wiper, but going to trade that for a double from that Zuka off of Neptune's V-shot. We do have cooler online for Big Fat Sea Cows. They're still moving in. Minnie has been such an aggressive anchor for the entire team of Big Fat Sea Cows. They're down 2 members now, down 3 members. They're going to be forced to abandon their push at this point and try to hold on to mid. Not everybody go down, but with cooler, they all came back so quickly that now Nuclear Fusion is really fighting to get out of their base.
Not only did they come back so quickly, they came back so quickly with their specials, as we see those 10 missiles and a hammer throw. Not able to get many picks, but still doing a great job of just dispersing a nuclear fusion away from where the tower is going to be coming up ramp right here as it heads into the final stretch. They might be able to get to the final checkpoint here if they are able to keep up their advantage right here. Toto trying to build special right now. Those ink strikes are just going to push him and Tai and Mini back off of tower right now. Unfortunately, 2 down on either side right there. Special cancels. Mini just doing her best to hang off that tower. Is able to get a kill, but unfortunately goes down to Tai TV. I don't need names. Similar looking letters, folks. I'm doing my best out here. It is a scramble right now for the Carbon as they are looking to get a good flanking round, maybe a good couple shots with the Zuka. Burst bombs going out right there, just trying to disperse. It is just the Carbon right now, trying to do it. Narrowly avoids this own Zuka shot. Returns fire, unable to get anything. It is just the Carbon right now against the Stamp. They are able to jump out and save themselves, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just like that entire interaction was wild to watch. But, you know, despite how wild that was, Nuclear Fusion is going to get knocked out here. It is still, you know, turning up big fat sea cows. They're still moving forward, threatening a 2-0 right here to take this second game. Toto is going to get taken out, though. It's not quite over yet for Nuclear Fusion. They are going to have to make a really, really good comeback, which I'm not going to say is impossible, but so far they have not really been able to get past much of mid.
They still don't have that first checkpoint, and that first checkpoint is definitely a hard spot on this map right here. We're once again seeing Neptune with the Zuka, unable to get any pops, but is able to get a kill right here, right after. Sees the flank, but unfortunately gets taken down by the respawning Nuclear Fusion. Lux able to stamp someone, but unfortunately I think the hammer throw got clipped on the cooler. I hate when that thing's collision physics work against me. It is not fun. There's only 50 seconds left on the clock right here, and Nuclear Fusion is not able to leave their base, or Nuclear Fusion, Fission, the two sides of the same coin. Lux on a tear right there, getting 2 kills and once again pushing into base, just trying to keep hold of left side ramparts right here as Mini once again comes up on tower. A full charge, daring anyone to enter her sight lines with the quick booyah for morale. 2 unfortunately do go down on the side of big fat sea cows right here, but they have the so much advantage. They have so much pain on the ground that Nuclear Fusion needs to build special and push out together if they want to win this game.
And Big Fat Sea Cows does have missiles online from this Splattershot Pro, so as long as they stay alive and make sure to, you know, it's not strikes, but it is going to force them off of the tower. So as long as they stay alive, you see the strikes are coming out now. Neptune just like that, just able to hop on the tower.
Yep, great thing. They made not a sound. They were quiet as a mouse, just went around the right. The missiles forced them off tower for a second. As soon as they come back on, Neptune jumps up there, bang, bang, and the end of the game. Letting it with 2 shots, Big Fat Sea Cows takes it 2-0 over Nuclear Fusion. And that's more of the SOS I've been used to. Just an absolute domination from one team.
Yeah, you know, I will say, Big Fat Sea Cows, really, really strong team. They had a very, very good showing at Riptide earlier this month.
They have a good showing anytime they show up.
They're great.
I don't think they've ever had a bad showing.
In my soul against them, I was just like, we tried. We tried.
Yeah, my first ever LAN that I ever commed was Big Fat Sea Cow debut. It was a lot of collegiate teams from the South, and they showed up and they took it all the way home, and that was a treat to watch in terms of, you know, watching just some amazing players of the game just do what they do best. It wasn't fun from the sense of watching my friends get absolutely clobbered.
Yup. I felt
and
that.
Also, I got some inside scoop right here from one Neptune. There were 7 Zukas from the side of Neptune right there at the end of the game.
My goodness. You know, we had a combined 8 Zukas over from Nuclear Fusion, but that was across 2 players.
There were 15 Zukas in that game.
That's Splatoon 3, baby.
Yep. It beats out the amount of coolers that there was 10 coolers in total. As a total, let me do some quick math right here. That's 30, that's 39, that's 58, 64, 75, 87, 100. There were 100 total splats that game.
There was a lot
That's
going
actually
on.
insane. Somebody double check my math. Is that correct?
Guess what? I
mean, hey, it was a bloodbath or an ink bath, depending on what perspective we're looking at right here. Not necessarily a spawn die situation, but just there was so much fighting. It was nonstop. It went down to the end right there with just Big Fat Sea Cows able to just maintain their presence, and when the first time that Nuclear Fusion managed to get back into mid for I think about 2 minutes, that just those 10 missiles ended it all.
Yeah, that was a scrappy match. There was a lot of fighting going on from both sides, and I think that Big Fat Sea Cows was able to play at their own tempo. And you see they're very comfortable at that just super scrappy tempo. They're holding in forward, even mini plays, very, very aggressive, which Heavy Edit really does allow you to play, an anchor position, but very aggressively. But
sorry,
man,
tactical Twitch chat right there. Had to just show my appreciation for the players. We are waiting a bit for round 3 to start because when a 2-0 happens, you gotta wait for the other contestants to get ready. But for right now, we are about to see our next little set right here as the pass earned is getting set up. I love the starting of a room right now. Here we go. We got RRR Remix versus Rain. Ooh, you familiar?
Oh, okay. I love Remix.
Okay, that's how
those are. I also got my butts kicked by them at Riptide. They're great. Oh my gosh. I have been playing against Robo Remix for 2 years now, I think. And the amount they've learned and grown in 2 years, that vastly outstrips what I've learned and improved in 2 years. So we don't scream together nearly as often anymore because they've gotten so good. They almost broke top 32 at Riptide.
Hey, that's a good track record right there. I'm looking over at Rain to see what they might be up against right here. Just looking through what we all got. I see a Dualies player. I see a Headed player. I see a lovely diorama of support right now. Just the standard stuff. And on a map like Ship-Shaped Cargo Co. Zones, we're looking to see what wonderful comps that both of these teams bring in. What does Remix usually bring into a map mode like this?
Oh, man. Well, they play pretty interestingly. Assuming Bug Slap is playing, he is pretty much a Bloblobber one trick. Very good at Bloblobber, very good at knowing where to throw your Inkstorm, loves the Inkstorm buff. And then usually Tori and Lagoon are much more very forward playing players who will do things like brushes and rollers and whatnot and work off of bugs very, very well through those Inkstorms to be able to get in and secure picks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I sort of zoned out after you said Bloblobber one trick. I started hearing One Winged Angel in my head just because, I have PTSD from that weapon.
Well, you're about to see it.
Yeah, we got 2 carbons on either side. One is the classic carbon deco that you see. The other is the new carbon with the Fizzy Bomb and the Chumps. That'll be very helpful on a map like this. Chumps are a little awkward with the, 2 side platforms, but it can very much be helpful. We're seeing already, unfortunately, one down on Remix. Days doing their best to just hold right here. Unfortunately, not able to get the shark that they need. Splashdown right here is able to get a pick. Rain's timer is ticking down, though. They got already 13 points in and right now they're just hoping to secure lead, but it looks like Remix is able to take it around. Lagoon just doing their best of being annoying and pulling attention, what brushes tend to do. Though they seem to have cornered themselves and unfortunately go down right there.
Yeah, they did take 2 people's attention with them there. So we did have an interesting like tempo pulled away from zone in River Remix's favor. But this is looking like it may be flipping back over to Rain's side. But I don't know, with a special coming out from UV, that triple splashdown, still able to pull some people away. And it looks like this is still in River Remix's control with a wipeout. They can move in forward now. Bugs is setting up the trajectory for the Ink Storm, plotting it out. Out goes the Storm. You're going to see Lagoon use their own special here, able to move in, able to get a pick, and they are threatening a knockout at this point.
That they are. I've never seen someone tactically hold Inkstorm before. I typically just see them use it immediately. So that was very interesting. That splashdown could be big right there. It is enabled to click 2 off the end, and that will secure the win for Remix. That splashdown, they're not allowed to enter that zone. The stage at this cargo company is set for a remix as they take the first game of this set.
Yes, yeah. I have PTSD from only a couple weeks ago from Bug Slap's buffed Inkstorm on that Bloblobber, just completely zoning me out constantly. And I was just like, afterwards I had to go over to Bugs, and I was just like, Bugs, your Bloblobber, it's so good. It's such a strong support. I was like, if I could get to you, I could kill you easily, but I can't get to you.
Listen, I tried to understand Bathtub. I played it in Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3 specifically so I could try to understand Bathtub, and I still don't, okay? It just doesn't work, okay? But then it works perfectly for them. It doesn't make sense. But it's stuff that doesn't or does make sense is irrelevant because we're going to Scorch, Gorge, Clam, Blitz. Now, this is a map that I actually am even more terrified of a Bloblobber potentially being on, because they might switch to the second Bloblob kit that has Kraken, which would be very useful on this map. But even that increased utility for the Inkstorm might be helpful right here. I don't honestly see much of a change for Rubber Remix, maybe a swap on what carbon that they play, but considering the double kills they were able to get in the first game, I don't even know if that's possible. No, we do see a switch to the order roller right here. Similar comp on the side of Rain, headed a Vanilla Dualies and a Forge Pro right here, as well as the new Splashdown on the side of Rubber Remix. This is a fairly balanced comp on either side, but once again, Rubber Remix has got a lot of mobility, and they got a lot of annoyance tools. It's interesting because you got two teammates who are very good at pulling the tension, being the Brush and the Bloblobber, paired up with a Sharking Roller, which is always a good combination.
Yeah, and they've been playing together for many years now, so they know what they all like to do together. And so you like, as we've been seeing, okay, that was nasty, that was evil, Tori, that was evil.
I have never seen a trajectory of a super jump kill like that. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That's 2 super clams immediately, and they've already gotten halfway through to the wipeout, already down to 30 points, 27 points. It's less than a minute in the game. They're down to 27 points. How is this happening? Another wipeout! They might not be able to make it in time. No, they are! They are able to hold the basket open. These clams right here will take it down to just 1, and that'll end the game! That was less than a minute and a half!
These were some Rainmaker times.
You didn't get a chance to speak for more than 15 seconds!
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was just quick, over and done. They said we read the assignment. We're going in right now. We're ending the game and moving on. We're ready. We're ready for the brackets.
Sorry, I'm reeling from their thing, and the fact that I don't know why, because end poses are one thing in Splatoon. I do the little flippy thing because I like how extra it is. But they were just the way they were all like stanced up like differently but coordinated. I don't know. It just like I like felt it in my soul. I just felt like they're judging me. They're like, yeah, we just knocked out in less than a minute and a half. You saw us get 2 wipeouts in less than 45 seconds. Deal with it. It's just, I don't even have much to comment on the match because we didn't see too much.
And we barely got to see clams on Scorch.
I feel like I always see too much of clams on Scorch, as in these games never end.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, that's about what I'm used to playing against for Remix these days. You have, I mean, UV is able to play kind of an aggressive backline there on that Jet Squelcher because of having those splash downs. Means like, yeah, if you get close to me, I'm just gonna splash down you, and it's an annoying large enough radius to really just end your life if you're not paying attention to when they have special. Bugs is able to put out tons of paint and support to then allow tons of mobility for Tori or Days on rollers, and then Lagoons just being an annoying brush, zipping around everywhere, and then just add, you know, there's sometimes 4 weapons that you would look at and be like, okay, well, that's going to be interesting. I don't really know how that's going to work with a blob, especially, but then once you see when people have practiced it enough, it's like, oh no, they know what they're doing together.
Yeah, I'm as somebody who's fairly new to the competitive scene, all things considered, I feel that a lot in the sense of, like, you know, the earlier comps that we saw, but I also saw a lot of comps in the tournament I was commentating earlier today that I was very surprised by, and I continue to love the like creativity that players are able to find in this game, even when there's like weapons that are so dominant in this game that you feel like you see them all the time, like Pencil or Gal. You still see creative and like super fun but also incredibly effective comps like the one we just saw that pair together in ways that you didn't expect, that have a chance to make it all the way to the top right there. And River Remix took this set with a decisive 2-0, and you know, it's I love seeing stuff like that out there in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, we're gassing up River Remix a lot because that game was wild. But you know, Rain's gonna be moving on into the Lantern bracket, but they could do very, very well there. I know of XO71, who is the captain of Rain from they are also a TO, I believe, for Shark Tank. It's where I've seen them, and I've seen their other players around. I know Cora is pretty much just a dualies player and is somebody who mostly plays. I'm pretty much dualies player who is now a Pocket Dread. I love the Splat dualies. Just all 3 Splat dualies kits are just like chef's kiss. I love each and every one of you.
I most of my want to play dualies nowadays comes from the fact that that Imperaries has triple splashdown, because I was a Splatoon 2 baby and I miss my burst bomb splashdown hero shot. I miss it so much. It's like when they gave me the 3rd kit in burst bomb, I was so happy, but I do not get to relive my days of super jump splashdown. So I guess I'll just have to settle for the absolute lovely tournament Super Jump 6. Registry is open now. The event itself will be held from the September 20th and the 21st with prize pools starting at $250. Regardless of your performance, all teams will make day 2 with different brackets for different levels. Please sign up. It is an absolute lovely time at that link right there, start.gg/superjump.
That was a very good segue.
I am proud of myself. Call me a mid-30s white guy with how great I segued that transition.
They see you rolling. Oh my god. Yeah, man, I am so sad that I'm missing day 1 of Super Jump. I always know that there's going to be like an IPL event happening on the 3rd weekend of every month, and I always try to keep that weekend open, and then it's just like, woe be upon ye, you have friends who keep demanding your attention because they love you, and I'm like, gosh dang it, friends. Can I get your love on a different weekend?
I wouldn't know anything about that, I say, as I am going to a Miko concert on the 20th.
You know what? Well, at least we can enjoy watching the Sunday. That is the nice thing about being, a 2-day event. And yeah, I gotta say, but Super Jump, like, it is, essentially a major, but I was speaking for like the low-level competitive scene that maybe, would normally be playing something like Low Ink this weekend, but obviously we have Super Jump running instead. sign up for Super Jump anyway. Like, you're gonna get a bunch of really good, challenging games in.
Very much so. Hey, tournaments are always just a great time to sharpen yourself. Iron sharpens iron, as they say. I am a much better player than I was when I started just over a year ago now, and I can owe that thanks to not only my team, but all of the great competitors that I have fought at events such as Super Jump. So please, if you are wanting to get out there, test yourself, and just have an all-around fun time, please do sign up for Super Jump 6. We got 28 registered teams right now, and we'd love to see that number grow even higher.
Yeah. You know what? It could be higher. It could be higher. Have you ever played a Super Jump before? Because I haven't, unfortunately. I've always wanted to, but it just keeps not happening.
I have not. Most of my experience has been through CCA. I am only like starting to break out into stuff outside of it, mostly in terms of commentating, but hopefully in terms of playing as well. Most people haven't asked, hey, Dynamo player, you want to be on their team? But we'll have to figure it out at some point, because I love this game and I'd love to play in a tournament like this with just a great group of friends.
You gotta pull out the clips from Robo Zones and be like, yo, check out what Dynamo can do.
Again, I can show them the greatest roller kill to ever exist. When I believe it was qualifiers for CCA last year, we were in overtime and a reef slider came up from the side of, like, the little lip on Robo Zones, like near the enemy ramp, like off to the side of the glass. There was a dread ringer like riding on the, like hugging the wall. They come up. I'm heading over there to start poke, but I hear them on the wall, and I bring my Dynamo down, and they come up and pop reef slider, and I kill them. And I was surprised that I did it, but I am incredibly proud.
When you jump scare yourself.
Yeah. That happens
like,
a lot these days.
Did I just do that?
I'm better at this than I thought I was. Let's go.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of really, really cool Splatoon stuff happening now. I mean, between like the NA League, we've got Super Jump happening on a more regular basis than it used to. I'm hoping to see a lot of people who were I have seen a lot of people who are like, I might not be doing a whole lot of Splatoon. And then in the last month, I've seen them be like, hi, I'm an FA looking to join a team. And I'm like, oh, ho, ho. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome to the chaos. We absolutely love to see it. Whew. Sorry, I'm a little tired right now. We're gonna have we're still waiting on a lot of teams, because as you can tell from when you have two quick 2-0s back to back, the rest of the team still gotta do their best to like get through the rest of their set. And like with how dominant Remix and Big Fat Sea Cows were, we're still waiting for the rest of this set to continue before we head on into bracket, folks.
Yeah, we've got a couple more matches left to finish. Not too many. It will potentially not be too much longer, but yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen a quicker Clam Blitz game.
No, I haven't.
Like, maybe I've encountered it once ever in solo queue, but like that's a different story, because that's solo queue and you never know what's gonna happen.
Okay, if I have, it would have been on Barnacle and Dime. It certainly was not on Scorch Gorge.
True.
If I see something like that on Museum Dolphonsino, it happens to me, I'll like shake the hand of whoever just did that to me. I'll be like, yep, you earned it. That's just that.
You did. But yeah, looking back on a bunch of the sets in the various groups for pools right now, we are seeing a lot of 2-0s happening. That is kind of the nature of the game for pools and whatnot, because this is just figuring out where people then shake out into the 1 of 4 brackets. I see a couple favorites. We saw Jelly Squids. Looks like they did a really good 2-1 going into the Hammerhead bracket. Ruro Remix, they had that, we saw that really strong set from them that we just casted. They're going to be heading into Mako bracket. Big Fat Sea Cows, who we saw earlier, headed into Hammerhead bracket. It looks like that group was actually really a really tough one. There was a three-way tie between Big Fat Sea Cows, Nuclear Fusion, and Killer Blues in terms of the win-loss. So it had to come down to the actual games won versus games lost to decide those tiebreakers.
Hey, I love to see some good competition. I can't wait to see how ultimately bracket shapes out and who ultimately takes the crown here for SOS 201. I'm a little sad. I will admit that I knew I wouldn't be able to hang out at Riptide because I'm a humble guy. I got stuff going on. I am sad that I missed SOS 200, the big celebratory milestone, and I'm sure it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I also missed SOS 200. I was able to, I checked out the VOD afterwards, and it sounded like people were having a grand old silly time together.
I love grand old silly times, especially on big milestones. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I've been really reflecting on, leading up to Riptide, during Riptide, and then following Riptide, is this idea of community in Splatoon. Because I had a guest come with me, because he was, from the Ohio area, and he was just like, sure, I'll come tag along. And he was just, there with a spectator pass, only vaguely knows about Splatoon, and was mentioning how close-knit the community feels, where it's just everybody knows each other, and it's been really nice to see. I'm just warm and fuzzy thoughts.
Community is one of the main reasons that I play games like this. It's why I love doing the things that I do, and I'm very treasured to I feel very happy to found such a treasure community as this one. And though I love this community, we will have to take a quick step back as we are going to go to break real quick while we wait for the rest of the matches to wrap up. But don't go anywhere. SOS 201 still has more to come.
Hello and welcome back. We are heading on into our first match of Great White Bracket in SOS number 201. Welcome back. My name is Rose and I'm joined by my friend Jolteon. How are we doing here?
My name is Jack. I like Jolteons.
Well, I saw the Jolteon first.
I like that little electric fox.
Yeah.
Speaking of things I like, we got chocolate is greater than vanilla, which I do agree with. And Townsend Tiger Sharks right here for our final set before bracket up on Mako Mart zones. This is gonna be a doozy right here is what it's gonna be.
Am indeed excited for this one. Man, Townsend Tiger Sharks, I just always think of like stuff with CCA. Makes me feel old because Splatoon wasn't out when I was in college, and I think the same for you. I think we're around the similar age.
So if Splatoon wasn't around when you were in college, I'm in college, my friend.
Wait, why am I thinking you're like in my... Okay, just me and Popgun. And,
so remember when I mentioned that I had started a CCA about a year ago?
You're right. That means you're in college.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right, Grandma. It's fine. Let's just finish up the set, and then you can take your meds, okay?
I need my walker on the way to the freezer to grab my chocolate and vanilla mix ice cream.
Speaking of chocolate and vanilla mix, I'm looking at the team comp right now. We got a chocolate or vanilla muffin, probably chocolate since it's greater than, which is a hard backline player. We got a mix of that is a shooter player if I have ever seen one, as well as that. Oh god, that profile picture, as well as a potential carbon player. A lot of skirmishing on the side. Oh, we're already in the game. I need to pay attention, folks. We do see a carbon roller on both sides with I am doing my best with a pencil already charging for special on all sides, about to have a cooler on the side of chocolate greater than vanilla, and a crab somehow even faster right now. A crab doing a great job just dispersing all of Townsend Target Sharks onto the left side of the map, and with this cooler lifeline, that's going to be great. The plant is able to get a quick seal. Made that two with a beautiful V flick off the wall right there. They're going for the third. Can they manage to get it? Yes, they can. Right here. Going for the fourth with the help of these strikes. They need to get in there as control of the zone is probably going to flip, though they need to make sure they do secure it, as the rest of the chocolate vanilla will take over, and control does eventually flip to the Tiger Sharks. What a great start to the match. Ignore the fact that I was stuttering and stumbling for the first 15 seconds.
I mean, if I was Plant, I would yell at my teammate who threw the strikes and be like, I couldn't see because I swear I was going to get the fourth. I was going to get the fourth, but the strikes blocked my vision. But Plant able to get a pick right then and there. They are still getting points, gaining on Townsend Tiger Shark's side. Chocolate is greater than vanilla is starting to poke their way in. Travis Scott on this blaster, really doing a lot of work on their own. Is going to die on zone, but take somebody with them. That is two currently down on Townsend. Meaning Chocolate is moving in right now. And Plant is just... March, they're going to be forced to go out, not able to do dastardly carbon things for now.
Yeah, right now coming down to 3 minutes 25 seconds right here. Beautiful pop right there. It does use their splashdown, as they weren't totally confident in the shot, but with the points just continuing to count down, and the Tiger Sharks not able to get out of their zone. Long Zuka shot from downtown, making it 2 downtown shots. The beautiful stunt that'll allow them to keep lead right here for chocolate greater than vanilla, as the Tiger Sharks are not able to leave their left side platform. Strikes coming out. I don't know where that first strike went. I don't know why they threw it down there, but maybe it was just a way for Plant to get in, as they are doing a bit of a skirmish right here. The zone has been neutralized momentarily. Plant able to get in there, trying to return fire on the Zuka, but unfortunately gets juked, though a teammate does quickly avenge him. But all of Tiger Sharks, save for one, is down, allowing Chocolate to just continue to hold the zone with only 20 points left.
Yeah, they don't have much more time to wait through. They are going to lose their roller, but there are not strikes coming out from Townsend, but they are fortunately able to get over to that zone and at least cap it for a moment, applying 37 penalty points, or sorry, up to 69 nice penalty points over on the side of Chocolate and Vanilla. Townsend will have to wait through their 30 penalty points to keep going through. Cowabunga is starting to put the paint down. They do have strikes online from their slosher. You know, they are running a double strikes comp here. Strikes can be quite helpful, as we're seeing now being applied both for zone. They can also be applied ahead of zone. And, you know, they're going to want to use them when they can on that crab right there. That crab's going to be forced to sort of move into an awkward position. Still able to get a pick on Cowabunga, though.
3 kills with the assistance of that crab. I will say that point blank, that's a wipeout for chocolate greater than vanilla. A point blank bomb from crab felt incredibly personal, but you know, it gets the job done. Right now we're just seeing a lovely little flash just waiting for the pick. Unfortunately, the invincibility saves their would-be shark target, and that unfortunately might be the momentum change that they need, as the slosher right here is going to charge up the left side towards the sniper. Unfortunately, they are able to quickly get back in thanks to the cooler, but they once again juke him with the super jump and get in. Strikes coming out right now will hopefully neutralize the zone. They do a Zuka shot, hoping to disrupt the rest of the players, as the rest of Lunch and Tiger Sharks are able to get in. 1 snipe on the crab, 2nd snipe on this crab. Tower strikes coming out right there, hits the crab a 3rd time. Still the person refuses to die. I feel like I'm back at Splatoon 2 and watching snipes bounce off of ink armor. What is happening, Rose?
Classic HP specials, just, you know, not quite hitting the person in there. Towson does have to get this all the way down to essentially a knockout to take this set back. Plants doing dastardly devious things on this carbon, sharpening these ledges, which they're going to have to keep doing, making sure that the rest of the team can still keep paint on that zone. They all have to wait a little bit longer. They are going to lose their charger, but that's okay. They have plenty of painters. They only need to hold it for another second. They get it. And they take that game 1 in what looked like it was going to be a lockout against them.
What a great comeback right there from the Tiger Sharks, keeping a cool head and able to once again secure their victory, going up 1-0 in this set. I love Mako Zone so much because you can do stuff like that on it. Because like they were backed up in their base for quite a while. They kept getting picked off one at a time, but thankfully they were able to rally together to get to scatter the members of chocolate greater than vanilla, and then rise back in, and then give them a taste of their own medicine down in the pharmacy aisle. But unfortunately, we're leaving the grocery store and heading next door to Rainmaker, Hump, Back, Pump, Track. And if there is one map in mode that I love more than Robo Robin Splat Zones as a Dynamo player, it would be this.
I got that hump, back, pump, track.
Track.
I got that earworm that's been stuck in my head for months now, thanks to my teammate Sherbert being the first one to do that to me. And I was like, well, that's going to live in my forever. I love this map mode. It really enables some goofy weapon picks that don't necessarily always turn out well on other maps. So I think it allows for a lot of creativity. And it's also, I know people are having discussions about Rainmaker in general and whether people want Rainmaker to be a thing that we see in competitive tournaments. And I think there's like merit to different sides of the discussion. But I will say personally, especially Humpback Pump Track, Rainmaker is one of my favorite map modes, especially to commentate, because there can be such unexpected come from behind wins. I've seen people be at, you know, have a solid lead at 1 and be dominating for most of the game and then lose it in the end in overtime.
Yeah, there's so much back and forth, and Rainmaker just is it's the king of tension, because there is always a countdown, not just on that timer above you, like the overall time of the game, but that timer on the Rainmaker. You have to get in there. You can't be passive. You can't retreat. You have to go, go, go. And we got some comps that want to go, go, go. On the side, we see a very similar comp from the side of Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla, trading out their shooter for a glamour shot, which I mentioned loving earlier. We're seeing an Explosher on the side of the Tiger Sharks right there. That will be very helpful, especially with its splashdown on this map. Unfortunately, one of Chocolate v Vanilla already goes down right here as their specials are being ready to go out right here. A rain and a cooler on the side of Townsend Tiger Sharks. Also, I was wrong. That is the wrong Explosher. That does not have. That's already 3 down on the, for Chocolate v Vanilla. It's just barking right here, and they go down as well. This should be an easy pathway to the thing, but unfortunately, thanks to that cooler, the rest of the Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla is able to get in there, and that splashdown would deter this push for a moment.
Yeah, and then, you know, that splashdown gave the rest of Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla the space to move in. That Carbon was able to go in and just seal the deal. So now they're able then this is going to be an even easier dunk for them. They are going to actually get their dunk. First checkpoint cleared for between either of these teams, and they're still moving it forward. Yeah, gonna get taken out there, but it's not over yet because several members of Taos and Tiger Sharks went down. That splashdown is gonna pop that Explo, doing their best to get them. They do eventually get the kill, but not until a ton of points get scored and Plant able to take out more and more people. That is going to be the end of that push for now. Taos and Tiger Sharks is going to pick it up and they're going to drop it and be able to start moving in on their own. What I love about this map mode is that you can have a huge, massive push, but if you lose everybody, it is an easy checkpoint clear like we just saw for the opponent. And once that checkpoint's cleared, if this happens again, they could get a huge amount of points.
Yeah, I mean, hey, when in doubt, run Rainmaker forward, get massive points, as we saw Chocolate and Vanilla score up to 11 right there. That'll be a very hard thing to surpass for the Taos and Tiger Sharks. But technically, last game, they came back from a worse position, so I'd like to see them do it once again right here. Just waiting for a great shot with that Zuka. It finally comes out, able to pick one, make that two. Unfortunately, the Rainmaker gets picked right there, but that is half of Chocolate v Vanilla down right here. Kai is doing their best to grab this Rainmaker and just get a pop, but it can't force it too fast. That Zuka shot, unfortunately, will clip the rest of the team, and another wipeout for the Taos and Tiger Sharks. Chocolate and Vanilla are on, Greater Than Vanilla are on a killing spree right here.
They are. That carbon is going to get picked off before they can actually do any damage moving in, but strikes are going to come online. We already see, Kraken's ready, a triple splashdown's ready from Chocolate is Greater Than Vanilla. They're going to keep moving this forward. This is the map mode where it is move forward, do crimes.
Do crimes.tm. Unfortunately, right here, we're back is seemingly in a bit of a mid struggle right here. I wonder if the teams are going for a Rainmaker reset. No, it's still just not popped right here. It's just a lot of fighting in mid. Two of Taos and Tiger Sharks are down. The remaining two do have their specials, probably waiting for the rest of the team to respawn and or potentially a possible entry point right here. Plant just trying to separate members of the team. I do not know how to pronounce that name. The Kraken coming out right here, just chasing down this Rainmaker. Oh, off to the left side. You never see that so much with that little jump. They do get it up there, but that means that it's in a very unfavorable position for the Tiger Sharks to just quickly pop it. Right now, with only 1:15 left on the clock, they need to be able to get the kills. They need to get that position. They're gonna need to take out that pencil.
Yeah, because of where it is now, they really need to get picks and then pop that Rainmaker. If they can do that and not go down to the pencil and take care of this pencil, then that could be huge. But Chocolate is Greater Than Vanilla, doing an excellent job knowing, all right, we really don't want to risk them, pushing this forward on the flank. Let's just reset it now. Yeah, they're probably going to move it over to the more common route of that right elbow through. But as long as we have resources set up there and we don't let them go through. That said, Chocolate is Greater Than Vanilla is going to start bleeding and losing some people. If Taos and Tiger Sharks plays this right, they could get it with the triple splashdown coming in and taking them out.
Yeah, I always love it when a blaster or something is just able to just squeak by on just the smallest patch of ink and then ba-bam, and two members of the team are down and your Rainmaker is in a very bad position. Right here, the Tiger Sharks are doing their best to kill. Unfortunately, Rainmaker is grabbed right from underneath their noses and put into a very bad position for them. Kraken's going to come out right here, just putting pressure with only 10 seconds left on the game. It gets a pick, and there it is two, and the Rainmaker is gone. Just like that, trying to get the last one, but unfortunately, it's a trade. It is just Kai, and they are not able to break the Rainmaker bubble by themselves, tying this set. Chocolate v Vanilla are not letting this game go quietly into the night. We will be going to our final round here in our round robin.
Yeah, we love game threes. Love it. Going on into our match set point for both of these teams into round one of Great White Bracket. It is anybody's game as we move on into Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we saw it earlier. This is just a wonderfully, this is like a good, solid map. It's even. Both teams had they had their matches where one team got an advantage early on, whether there was a comeback, there was an attempted comeback. All right, we're on an even playing field here. This is anyone's game. This is where truly the best will be decided.
Yeah, and we've had a pencil. Well, we've had a pencil on the side of chocolate is greater than vanilla. Has Towson been running a pencil? I forget.
I believe so. These names are not the same as their splash tags, and I always love to see that.
Yep, same. That's why I'm like, wait, I don't know.
It makes my job so much easier. I mean, hey, they got a dedicated pencil player, and we love to see that.
But yeah, so much of Hagglefish really is sometimes, what is your backline playing? What are they going to do? If they have range over you, then what is your plan to deal with that problem? And what do you need to do to set up your win condition to move forward, take space, hopefully don't completely abandon zone, but at least force the other team to burn resources to get to the zone.
I mean, I've seen many a lockdown on this stage. It's very possible, but I've seen just a absolute, knockdown, drop out a slog of a match that is just the zone flipping every other second, and both teams end the penalties so high, and it feels like you're back at the start of the match. Both teams have very solid anchors right here. We're seeing Muffin once again on the pencil. Kai switching to a ZNF charger, hoping that little extra range will be enough. But other than that, both comps are fairly similar, aside from the fact that Chocolate X Vanilla switches out their carbon roller for some longer range shooters right here, but unfortunately one of them goes down right away. What do I mean? They also have a carbon roller. They switch out their other weapons for two very long range shooters. It's been a long day, folks. It's
been a long day. I know Plant is like, you can pry this carbon deco out of my cold dead hands. Will unfortunately die right there, but Chocolate is greater than Vanilla is going to use that opportunity to start moving forward. And the buffed 52 gal, I don't know if you felt it, but I've felt it. I felt it at Riptide right after that update. Those shots do come out faster.
I have thankfully had the pleasure of not having to fight it yet, mainly because I haven't been able to play the video game, and I do not want to break that by experiencing the new thing. And seemingly neither does the Townsend Tiger Sharks, as they once again retake zone control right here and immediately shut down any counteroffensive from the Carbon, make that the gal as well. They do not want to play it. Some Inkless sharking right there from Plant. Unfortunately, Tenet missiles don't care about what ink you're hiding in. It will still see you. And as the points are counting down right here, it looks like the Tiger Sharks will be able to take lead as we have 3 minutes and 30 left on the clock. Some strikes potentially coming out right here. No, they seemingly get canceled right now. Just a bloodbath. 2 down on the side of the Tiger Sharks. Chocolate X Vanilla needs to do their best to get it down. Their jump is cut off. They need to retreat. Ooh. Second jump is cut off right here. It's just the Charger. They pick 1. They pick 2, but unfortunately they go down, and Chocolate greater than Vanilla is able to retake control of the zone right here and try to establish their offensive right below the Tiger Sharks base.
Very, very quick decision making from Chocolate is greater than Vanilla to immediately move forward on that. Even though Kai on that Charger did back up for Towson Tiger Sharks when the rest of the team went down, people jumped before Kai was backed up a ton, so they jumped into areas where Chocolate is greater than Vanilla was already moving in on so quickly, and they punished it so hard. However, Towson Tiger Sharks did, despite losing numbers there, really has done a great job on not completely failing on the retake. You see, they've got lead here at 33. They're gonna start getting real points here now, doing a really good job. But Ori is gonna get taken out maybe by our friend, the name that we cannot pronounce. Those missiles are going to start going out. The whale also going out now. Zone is going to flip, and we may have counterplay from Chocolate's greater than Vanilla trying to get in here.
2 down on the side of Chocolate greater than Vanilla. They have once again captured zone right here. 2 minutes left on the clock. Zone attempting to flip back over. What a quick Zuka shot from Fish right here to able to take out Plan before any sharking can hit. Going around the side with that Zuka, trying to get their anchor, but unfortunately misses, though it does get them off a platform for just a minute, allowing Muffin to reestablish control of the mid zone. Finally, they're through with their penalty with 1 minute and 45 left on the clock. They're just trying to count down the thing, but those strikes will be instrumental in helping to take back the zone, and it does once again flip in in the favor of the Tiger Sharks. With only 1:30 left on the match, Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla needs to hold on to control, but with 2 people left, it's looking like it's going to be even harder than it already has been.
It is. A lot of them going down here. We've about coming up on 1 minute left to go, but I think, more concerning is that we're not going to be able to get to that point. Chocolate is Greater Than Vanilla is getting locked out here. They lost players. The specials are coming out now. They need to get back in, but Plant is here just causing enough of a distraction, keeping it tough for people to get to zone. But this is a last rallying cry from Chocolate. Cap that zone. They have 1 minute to hold this and get the lead back.
Yeah, it's certainly enough time, almost exact, though points do track down faster than that timer does, as we're seeing right here. 45 seconds left on the clock. Strikes coming out from the side of the Tiger Sharks. It does not flip zone, though, only neutralizing it for a second. Bit of struggling movement right there, and their strikes are cut short. That third strike's not going to come out as Fish is able to get the kill. Once again, Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla holding on to control right here, but unfortunately 2 members of their posse go down, allowing Plant to sneak in right here. Hopefully get a Zuka shot, get Muffin off of that thing, and this should allow them to once again secure control of the zone. They do once again have it. Plant returning to the side here, just trying their best. We can't afford to fall right here. You gotta stop their pushes. Good job right there, making sure that nobody gets a shark. They cannot afford to go down. 2 down on the side of Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla. They need to build for some specials that'll either get them some kills or get them zone control, preferably both. Special dudes, no pop, but they are able to once again take control of the zone with a quick little kill from Fish. Fish coming to the side, trying to secure a kill on Ori. They do right now. Overtime is in effect. They need to count down over 20 points right now, and that timer is going down really fast. Fish doing their best to keep him out. That's another one down on both sides. Fish able to get Cowabunga right here. Fish coming in. 14 points left are needed for Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla to take control of zone, but one has managed to slip in and take things. The strikes are coming in right here. It doesn't flip zone though, and Chocolate over Vanilla take the set 2-1.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. Well, I didn't think it was going to be able to work out for them, but yeah, they did. They got those really critical picks there when they needed to. I really thought they weren't going to be able to take that back. It was so close, but those strikes just, I don't think they were ready to be thrown earlier for Taos and Tiger Sharks to be able to cap the zone early enough. They came out just a little bit too late, but wow, what a counterplay.
That was absolutely incredible to see right there. I down to the wire, but though they didn't have a lead for most of the game, Chocolate Greater Than Vanilla able to show that mentality that they have. They were able to keep cool in the face of an overwhelming overtime stack, and were able to secure that game against all odds. They will be heading into Great White bracket right here, and they dang well deserve it.
Never back down, never what? Oh yeah, that is why you never give up. You might be struggling to get much of a hold for the first 3.5-4 minutes, but it's really, if you can set yourself up for that really good end state, they brought it back.
Yeah, and like, hey, that's a great end to the games for our time on set right here, because now with Great White coming up, we do have to change off right here, but I have had an absolute blast, Rose, and I bet you have as well.
I have such a blast be here on Swimmer Sync. I think this was our first time commentating together. Very fun time. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of Great White shakes out here, moving on into the next set of commentators. Another lovely pair of commentators coming in to swap with us. But where can people find you?
I am over at Twitter at JolteonJack22. I am also over at Blue Sky at JolteonJack at bluesky.social. Trying to post more regularly there. So far, it's just notifications of when I'm on Anchor, but I'm trying to make my ways out there in the world and maybe get my voice acting work out there. So you might be seeing me some other stuff. But what about you, my good friend Rose? Where can the lovely people in our stream see you?
I am over on Twitch, YouTube, and Blue Sky as Rose of Battle, and all the various places. You can pretty much always find me over on that username. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be starting a short little charity campaign benefiting Fred Hutch Cancer Center. So just going to do a quick shout out to that. You can find me Thursday night, Sunday night, and then Monday and Tuesday night as well, doing some various games for a good cause.
We'd love to see that, and just as much as we love to see you folks. Thank you for joining us, and don't go anywhere, because Great White Bracket will be coming back any moment now. Stay fresh, y'all.
Hello, we are back with more Swimmer Sync 201. My name is Jolteon Jack. No, it's not. I'm Frostix. I'm joined by Rocket. We are your Block 2 casters, and we are now going into Great White Bracket Round 1. We are hot off the presses of seeing of witnessing that intense overtime push from that Haggle Zones match. So now we're seeing Mahi Mahi Resorts with Black Capped Chickadee, and this guy cannot play mini.
Yes, and we have quite two different stories in terms of these team structures. There isn't only 3 members on Black Cap Chickadee. The 4th member is Pika Dave, so we'll have Shallow, Acing, Luna, and Pika Dave versus Magic Wee Wee, Cinnamon, Starfish, and Toonami. Now, Black Cap Chickadee is a pickup team, I believe, made up primarily of +3/+2 players. Pika Dave, a name that is very familiar to me in particular, as they are very predominant in Texas lands. Actually, most recent result was taking home the crown in H-Town Splashdown number 5. So again, massive props to them. So they are a strong team in their own right. On the other side, this guy can play not mini. I'm not assuming that we'll be seeing any type of mini coming from them, but strong team nonetheless, as they have made their way through Great White with a 1-2 or a 2-1 victory over Ford F-150 in the previous bracket. So, I mean, strong teams overall.
Yeah, they did previously beat Not X-Man, Gavman, Lil Timmy, and Kubi before going into round 2 over here. I think we're still within the best of 3 zone. Yes, we are still. It's going to be a zone sandwich here. It'll be zones, then tower, and then here is the extended map forecast. Mahi Mahi zones, Undertow, tower, and Barnacle and Dime zones for our best of 3 set in round 2.
Yes, and with Mahi Mahi being our first zone map, we will have, I'm sure, very, very tough retakes all around. That's just basically the heart, the soul of what Mahi Mahi really challenges players and teams to really do. You have to make your retakes very, very coordinated. And I feel like that's the nature of zones in particular. If we ever need it, Splat zones, Barnacle, and Dime would, I'm sure, have a similar story. But Mahi Mahi in particular is severely punishing in terms of if you fail on a retake, it can set you back a lot.
Most definitely. If a team has a very strong hold of mid, if you can manage to basically cinch out those one-way drops once the water level does begin to recede, it'll be really hard breaking out. You'll find yourself maybe trying to retake on the islands. It's what me and my team have been trying to work with recently here. But even still, if you have weapons that can sort of just chip them away, just fend them off here, you'll just have a really, really solid hold from 100 to 0. So we'll just have to see whether or not Black Cap Chickadee or this guy can play not mini. We'll have that in store for us.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, it's really going to come down to those just positions, being able to kind of hold into the zone, jumping straight into it. Let's see what weapons we may have in store for us. We have Pika going with that Gal, of course, with that newly buffed Gal, increasing the firing percentage, the velocity of the shot, so we will see it a lot more commonly seen. On the other side, with this guy can play not mini, you have a double sword comp coming out.
Yeah, that is Sticker Stamper and Wiper. We love to see Wiper as a personal Wiper main myself. They're going to have a lot of good ledging power here already. Magazine's going to be able to get rid of Acing, who is on S-Blast. That's a rare sight for me. You normally see them on Luna Neo. We're seeing the Wiper pinched down between two strikes. Pika is now starting to mobilize. Starfish being forced to jump out here. Blackcap Chickadee already has a very good solid start. They're entering the 60 threshold, which will allow them to start getting that water level drop soon.
Absolutely, and this is exactly where you want to be if you're on the side of Blackcap Chickadee. 2 players down on the side of this guy can play not mini. You have the players now just trying to see if they can get in some special. Shallow is taken out by Magazine. Booyah Bomb is available for them to retake into the zone. Blackcap Chickadee, however, do have the Tri-Strikes in waiting just to respond, trying to wait for this push to come in, and it's going to have to come in soon if this guy can play not mini, can try to hold on to the zone. But so far, Blackcap Chickadee have done a pretty fair job at just trying to keep them out.
But with 3 numbers down, it's only Acing left. The zone has been 6-1, go. Blackcap Chickadee already acing in a little bit of a pickle, going down to the charge slash of the Wiper here, who's now playing on the right side. Definitely good for them to do that while the Stamper holds down the left side ledge with their ledging power. Already MTF Doom has the strikes ready to go. There's also a cooler ready to be deployed by Shallow. Here come the strikes. Will this be the entry sign? Will this be the sign for Pika or Acing to move in? The Gala is popping out the whale here. The the Neo Splash is also moving in. The Viper's trying to duel them out here. The zone is predominantly orange and it has been flipped once more by Blackcap Chickadee.
Yeah, and that was a lot faster retake from Blackcap Chickadee, which is why they're able to hold on to this lead. Now, the main thing that you have to factor for both these sides, they both have that Booyah Bomb with that Sticker Stamper, like you mentioned, on the side of Not Mini, and the S-Blast in the hands of Blackcap Chickadee. You see the Booyah Bombs kind of being placed here in this Venn diagram area, taking out each other. Hammer coming in from Watts. This Stamper, this Wiper, just trying to see if they can find these closing picks, as Not Many is able to retake in a quick fashion, but this back and forth stalemate is going to have to end eventually. Still half of the match to be played yet, and it can be anyone's game so long as they get this good hold.
Right now, what I'm seeing a lot of is that this guy can play Not Mini, is really good at dueling right now, especially in the hands of, what's this on the Wiper. Wiper's really good at just taking attention and also taking duels really efficiently here. I think they're trying to grab the attention now of the, of what it looks like to be the headed right now. Here come the strikes, though, at least trying to keep the zone intact. The Wiper does go down, and the rest of Blackcap Chickadee drops. There's 3 members down on this guy. This guy can play Not Mini, and now that's a wipeout for Blackcap Chickadee. It's only the Wiper left, and Pika is already looking for a fight. They're already posted up on this guy can play Not Mini's plat. They're being bombed out, auto bombs, point centers, you name it, everything in the kitchen sink. The lead is deadly close though, Rocket, 33-35, but Blackcap Chickadee is now out of their penalty points very soon, and they'll start counting down.
Ooh. And a little something extra on the top of your screen. You saw Acing take out 2 members of Not Mini on that ledge camp. That could be absolutely game-winning here if Not Mini aren't able to get in the zone in time. Yet again, finding another pick onto Watts just from the ledge. Booyah Bomb now being activated, creating such a difficult situation for Not Mini to get into the zone. And with that, a quick 1-0 will be your scoreboard. But I want, yet again, massive props to Acing for holding that left corner side.
Yeah, S-Blast can just do that with its variable range here. And when you have a AoE weapon like Blaster constantly watching it, you're going to have to tread with caution lest you be at the receiving end of a potential blue sky clip. I sure do hope that's not the outcome. We're going to game number 2 now. Undertow Spillway Tower Control here.
Yeah, and I kind of want to roll back and just appreciate the comp that Blackcap Chickadee was bringing out. It was a very balanced comp. You kind of were able to allow the gal, Pika, to kind of operate into their own fruition, kind of do whatever they need to. You have the End Splash for that stability to obviously help out with the S-Blast, and that's something that is very, very at the core of comps, really having a paint support weapon with a very Slayer weapon, such as an S-Blast, having that mid-range poking ability, and it's really strong to have that conjunction with each other, just because it gives that S-Blast so many more options, and we kind of saw it there as we saw Acing being able to move around so freely on that left side, just leaving no space for Not Many to move in.
That being said, though, I wouldn't want to count out this guy can play not mini. I said before that their comp can be really good at dueling here. They have 2 swords, both the Stamper for fighting maybe more so at range and providing a little bit more utility with its Auto Bomb and Booyah Bomb kit, but also the Wiper. I've already spoken my word about Wiper's ability to fight, but also Nautilus that they were running as well. I think that was in the hands of Moon, so that is also really good at fighting at a variety of ranges. Pairs really well with Wiper, pairs really well with Stamper here, and Starfish, of course, keeping it all together on the pencil. Let's get into tower control, Rocket.
Yes, but with each team keeping the same comp, I do worry about Moon's choice on that Nautilus kit in particular. Rain, well, yes, it can have its value, not particularly in terms of tower control, just because of what I see on the other side with Black Cap Chickadee. You have that end splash, though, for those GG strikes, the Booyah Bomb, same story. Really being able to space out with just some powerful specials here. Let's see if the Rain can keep up as we see both sides just trying to poke for that first control of tower.
Really big poking mid-off right now. Strikes being thrown, some chip damage being thrown left and right. The Wiper has gone down here. Black Cap Chickadee is still being a little hesitant on riding tower, especially with this rain coming out. Chip is coming out. The pencil's gone down. There is 2 down on Black Cap Chickadee. However, we're seeing Magazine trying to chip out the tower with their range here. I think closing in alongside Watts here. They're going to be able to get rid of Acing with the stamp here. No Booyah Bomb just yet as the tower cruises right back to mid. This mid-off is still going on.
Yeah, and that's what we expect from this map. First checkpoint usually a given between both sides. Just have to win that first fight, but the true battle really starts for that second checkpoint. And you see now Black Cap Chickadee has this advantage trying to push out these last players. Just the Wiper really left in a dangerous position, and with that, second checkpoint is going to be secured most likely by Black Cap Chickadee as they continue to kind of snowball forward. And yet again, we see there Pika having so much freedom on that gal, taking out players.
Yeah, as soon as you say that, though, Pika immediately gets eliminated. But now Acing is charging up a Booyah Bomb being tossed directly into this guy's spawn. No targets claimed so far, but the Wiper is moving in and is heralding a storm. Here comes the Booyah Bomb from the Sticker Stamper here. The rest of Black Cap Chickadee are starting to scatter. Pika is still staying alive, though. They're able to get rid of Moon before going down to Magazine. It's only Acing left, and Acing is nowhere to be seen as this guy can play not mini. Is already pushing this tower right back to mid and perhaps further.
Yeah, we've spoken a little bit of how Black Cap Chickadee wants to play their comp. In terms of not mini, you have the double sword comp that just is able to chip from so many different angles, but not to balance things out in terms of the painting ability. It's just that Black Cap Chickadee has that mobility that is able to kind of flank around. You've seen Pika time and time again being the spearhead of their push, and yet again you see it right there with 2v1 situation in terms of the picks. You now have Moon just falling back, trying to live to fight another day, as so far it has been all Black Cap Chickadee just constantly keeping this pressure.
Yeah, and they're just forcing this guy to already go right back onto their side of the map as if this entire fight and engagement just didn't even happen. Already one member down on each team, the Gal and the Stamper. The strikes come out from MTF Doom. The Hammer is coming out from Watts. They're able to take down 2 targets now, potentially a third if that Hammer throw can work. No, they don't, but at least they are holding down more space right now. They have a Booyah Bomb ready in the back pocket of Magazine, but they're being double bursted out by Acing. A lot of chip coming out from Black Cap Chickadee. They're getting very, very close to that second checkpoint now, and they're having to deal with the Whale coming out from Pika. The Rain is coming out from Moon, and now the Booyah Bomb will at least get rid of Pika in the current moments. They're getting close to that first checkpoint now. Will they be able to get past it, though?
Yeah, the Booyah Bomb invested on that left side means it will no longer be had in this mid-control area, but it doesn't seem like it will matter so much as Starfish being able to hold onto that tower is able to get past that second key checkpoint. Now the staggering situation is happening for Black Cap Chickadee. Only 2 players stand, both the swords just camping from under these ledges, talking about that poking ability. Magazine has another Booyah Bomb lined up for that little staircase area, and we see that tower slowly but surely moving its way towards that third checkpoint, lead being secured as well. Just a great situation for not many, just being able to cause that stagger, allow them to continue the snowball rolling. The jumps will be camped, yes, but I mean, you'll be happy with that push any day of the week, as now with a minute left and ball in the court of Black Cap Chickadee, it is their time to respond.
ball isn't just the only thing in Black Cap Chickedy's court. We have the Wiper able to get rid of Acing and Shallow before going down themselves here. It's now only left to Pika and MTF Doom to hold it and also get that tower to 27. The lead is definitely attainable, but you need to already get past mid and that first checkpoint area, which can be definitely contested if this guy can play Not Mini is in the right place at the right time. And look, they're able to get rid of two members, both Acing as well as Pika as well. It's only left to Shallow and MTF Doom here. Both of the swords are in field, both Watts as well as Magazine. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Acing has the Booyah Bomb ready to go. This is definitely something that you want to get going, but Pika has gone down. They're starting to realize what is the problem. It's the problem of the Gal. The tower's immediately lost here, and they're shredding Acing's Booyah Bomb. It does come out, but Acing themselves goes down as well. And we're seeing Magazine, they have a GG Booyah perhaps ready to roll. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. The GG strikes are being tossed out by MTF Doom here. Magazine's being chased down by the Neo Splash. The clue is coming out from Starfish here. This needs to work into overtime, but here comes the GG Booyah from Magazine thrown onto tower, getting rid of Shallow. And with one of the swords jumping on tower in the end, this guy can play Not Mini. Will be tying up the set 1-1 Rocket. We're going to game 3.
Yeah, and they played that very patiently, and that's exactly what you want in that situation. Force Black Cap Chickadee to play into your hand, force them to move forward, and just the overall, just being able to get into that situation to begin with was impressive enough, but the patience and the discipline from all those members were able to hold back that last-ditch effort from Black Cap Chickadee. You want to get them into that 2-down situation, and then you had that Booyah Bomb to secure it all the way through. So sometimes all it takes is just taking a step back, not getting too greedy, and that was just textbook play from this guy can play Not Mini.
There's one other thing I think I failed to mention earlier when we were talking about this guy can play Not Mini's comp here. Of course, they have versatility, they have fighting power, but they also have really good survivability. I think that's characterized primarily by Splatana Wiper. Man, I cannot stop blazing this weapon enough today, but it just has so much survivability in its kit. It has just really good movement, really good strafe speed, as well as that torpedo sub that could get it out in a pinch, especially as well, also with the stamp in case that it's cornered here. Stamper can do that also. I'd say the same thing with Nautilus, so it allowed them to kind of thrive within Black Cap Chickadee's side of the map here, and it allowed them to get that lead and then start holding space within mid once that 1 minute started to count down. So game 3 will be the deciding factor of who goes to semis, who is going to be going up against Shiny Coffee with Caffey. It will be decided on Splat Zones, Barnacle and Dime. Rocket, let's get into this.
Yeah, and we saw how well Black Cap Chickadee was able to play on that previous zone map. This time, though, Acing going over to that signature Luna Blaster we know them for. It is the Neo Luna Blaster as well, so you will have that stamp to really work with. MTF Doom has a lot on their hands in terms of being able to try to paint forward for Acing, but based on the success of that previous game, you have to be careful about how dangerous this blaster can be, as being able to camp under these ledges is going to be very dangerous, but not the blaster getting the pick under the ledge, but it is Pika the Gal, another factor in this. Managing to find 2, could go for a third, but enough space has been made for Black Cap Chickadee to secure that zone.
Yeah, and now I think this guy is getting a lot of their own medicine here, already being pushed up and threatened beneath the legends. We're seeing Acing already partaking in a bit of legend themselves, able to get rid of Mun and not going down to that auto bomb as well. They also have the stamp ready to go to flush out any swords, any Nautiluses within their courts here. They're just waiting with Pika. Do they know that they are about to strike? And Pika's already moving in. We're seeing Magazine, they're charging up their Booyah Bomb, and oh, what's this is going to be going in with the stamp. The Booyah Bomb does come out. It gets rid of Pika. Magazine's going down to Acing stamp, though. They're running out of time. Rocket, break this down.
Yeah, Acing just keeping these ledges away, deterring the last members of Not Mini. Only 2 players alive on both sides, and it will look like a quick 100-0 as Black Cap Chickadee just were able to get into the zone in time with that 2 players down situation that was caused by Pika just moving in, and Acing just being a very dominating presence, basically acting as a carbon there in that flat area, just left no room for No Mini to move in, and that is a quick 2-1 as Black Cap Chickadee will move on.
Yeah, when Acing picks up the Luna Neo, things are about to go down, it seems. And I think it definitely would more make sense. I think what's it called? Black Cap Chickadee does still have ample paint with that Neo Splash as well as the Headed. Of course, the S-Blast can provide a little bit more with that Booyah Bomb. But I think when it came down to Barnacle and Dime, it really did matter on the aggression. Can you outpace the Swords? Can you outpace the Nautilus? And that's what Acing, as well as Pika did, this dynamic frontline duo did in spades.
Absolutely, and that's something that we're going to have to keep our eye on as Black Cap Chickadee will be facing up against Shiny Coffee with Caffey on the other side of semifinals. We won't be looking at that matchup, however. We'll see if Black Cap Chickadee will be able to make it out of that one alive. In the other semifinals matchup, we have a very elite team names, Envy versus Gay Clankers.
Yeah, we have been dealing with Clankers. We are now dealing with Gay Clankers. We have on Envy, Teeny, Tickle, Sky, Cap, and Balloon. And on the side of Gay Clankers is Fox, Comrade, Sam, and Cool. These are some, yeah, not only elite team names, but elite team members.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of this stage in SOS 201, the elite of the elite remain, plus players litter pretty much the remaining of these last 4 teams, so only the top of the top will rise up. Best of 5 now will be our stake. A lot longer sets, hopefully, and a lot more time for these teams to get to know each other. We'll start things off though on Robo Ramen zones.
It does definitely seem like we're opening a lot of these sets on good icebreaker zones maps. Last set we saw it on Mahi Mahi. This set we're seeing it on Robo Ramen. This is also a really good skill check map for you to kind of start feeling things out, how you can sort of gauge how the enemy team likes to play things out.
Absolutely, and I like the terminology used there, skill check. It really allows you to see, okay, does our default comp work? Because usually when you go into these things, you have what you think should work. You've practiced it, you've played with it, and all it takes is for it to come to a head and you realize, oh, this is not working because of X, Y, and Z. That's why I say that these longer sets are such a treat to watch, just in terms of being able to see the adaptations between both sides. Not necessarily in the terms of weapons per se, but in the way how they approach certain things, how they approach certain fights, or altogether not even take a certain fight just because of a certain condition not being met.
Yeah, it allows you to kind of witness almost a kind of mini evolution, all the way to potentially whether or not it's going to go down in a 3-0, or if we go to game 4, or even if we end up on Splatzone's ship shape in the final round. But now we have no more time left to Yap Rocket. Let's dive into Robo Ramen. What are we going to see from both of these teams? On Envy, we're seeing the return of Wiper as well as Machine, and on the side of Gay Clankers, of course, we've got Comrade on the roller, but we're also seeing Cool on a recycled Brella.
Very interesting weapons between both sides. Sloshing Machine, not a commonly seen weapon for the side of Envy, but the 1-2 punch of the Recycle Umbrella and Carbon is definitely a unique perspective on things. Just being able to appear up close out of nowhere and take these closer range fights. I compare Umbrella to kind of the shotgun of Splatoon, but off rip, Envy being able to get that first control of zone, forcing that 3 players down situation, will have them with the spoils, and the spoils is the control of the zone.
Yeah, they're already breaking past the 70 threshold into the 60s. That Toxic Mist is going to ward off maybe Cool and Comrade from going in, but here comes a Booyah Bomb and a Splashdown from the Gate Clankers. They're going to be able to get rid of Teeny before going down as well. So we're seeing the Wiper move in on Fox here. They're trying to push them down into the Sneaky. They're also trying to duel out Sam, but they go down to the Shotgun Blast of Cool.
Yes, Comrade finding themselves in a sticky situation is taken out. 35 ticks left on the side of Envy. A tough turf war fight happening for control of the zone. 2 players go down, I believe, to a stray bomb coming out from that Junior there. Cool with the Recycle Umbrella, really being the last player standing on the side of Gate Clankers to try to contest control of the zone. They're doing a fairly good job against the Junior, but overall Cap on this Junior will take them out, and we're just seeing Gate Clankers struggling to find any foothold, as it has been all Envy so far now. Cap using that presence to go forth and just get into the base of Gate Clankers, just creating so much space.
Yeah, denying Comrade time on the field is that's good. And already we're seeing a Crab come out from Gate Clankers now on the hands of Sam. They're trying to at least put more damage on the board. The zone will be flipped for Gate Clankers. 38 penalty points go towards Envy. We're seeing Sam as well as Comrade trying to move in. Already 2 members down before Comrade finally gets stopped. Cool is now within the elbow area alongside that, I think, the junior as well. But now seeing Envy occupy the elbow area. Already 2 members down. The Booyah Bomb is being charged by Teeny. This may be another flip rocket.
Yes, and here it is right there. A wipeout to boot as well. And Envy has just been so dominant. The hammer as well, taking out Fox, continuing the stagger of Gate Clankers. And it has been all Envy so far, playing with house money, waiting for this bubble to come up as well, as Cap just sitting here waiting for an opportunity. Somehow managed to take out the splash net as well, and positioned on this right perch side is going to be so difficult to get out, especially since you're forcing out the specials from the side of Gate Clanker. Sam, the crab already being used, no longer will be available for control of the zone, but Envy knows they just have to keep poking away, and Gate Clankers will fall. Now, with the final ticks, will there be any players to get control of the zone? The answer looks like it will be no, as Envy takes a very convincing game 1.
Definitely convincing indeed. There was a lot of good pushback from Gate Clanker. I think especially from Cool on the like umbrella here. That's a treat to see. That's a treat and a half here, in my opinion. But it just could not level the storm that was Envy here. And they managed to play that really well. They had a lot of good weapons that could play within a variety of different angles. Of course, I'm just not even going to Glaze Wiper anymore, you know what I'm going to say, but they also have Machine, good for playing under ledges here, providing more chip damage to the Wiper or maybe to the Junior. And that Junior was being very aggressive. You saw them up on, I think, on the right side of Gate Clanker's spawn. They popped the bubble, drew more attention, which just allowed Envy to just skirmish within Gate Clanker's spawn even further, locking them out. Now we're going to game 2, which will be on Umami Ruins.
Yes, and just to harp a little bit more on the comps there, what really worked well for Envy was, I mean, you think of Junior and these paint support weapons as just your weapons that will be able to help and initiate other weapons to go in, really allow them to create space. But I mean, I was talking about Envy's Cap, just constantly moving forward with that Junior, a weapon that's very never talked about in terms of its pure killing ability, but we saw it time and time again, them using it pretty much as that very, very aggressive weapon, just being able to move and get into hard to reach places that leave weapons without any way to paint themselves in, such as a carbon, such as a recycle umbrella, not a lot of space to really operate. And we saw it all together come to a head with Envy being able to kind of space out the Gate Clankers.
It is hard to try and not laugh at Gate Clanker. I have already broke. That is nuts. But like you were saying, Rocket, when you kind of just remove the space away from I think it's primarily the carbon, but also from the Brella here, it just does not allow them a lot of space to work with, and then they start flopping around like a dead fish out of water. Now we're going to see if things are going to switch up in game 2. Envy's still running the same comp here, and so is Gate Clankers. They're still running that splash, carbon, recycled Brella, as well as pencil comp.
So same comp here. You already are familiar with what Envy and Gate Clankers are going to be running, but I want to see that adaptation from Gate Clankers. They were spaced out a lot last time, but with Clam, Blitz, Umami, gives yourself a lot more space to really operate. First Blood will go onto the side of Envy, but a quick response from the Crab will allow things to stabilize. Comrade trying to find the last as well onto Teeny will cause a delayed wipeout, and this is the aggression that Gate Clankers really lives for.
Yeah, and already an early barrier break here. Is there follow-up from Gate Clankers? It does not look like that, like that's the case, especially with Comrade kind of their push herald immediately going down to break the barrier. This will immediately give Envy a lot more resources to work off with, and we're seeing the pity already being picked up by Teeny. That being said, their pencil has gone down here. No cooler for the meantime. There is still a lot of specials to go off of. Teeny charging up the Booyah Bomb, as well as the bubble in the hands of the Junior as well. They're trying to keep this pity alive, it seems, and they're actually, it looks like they're being held at least within their own court, but now they're starting to push up and things are maybe due to change.
Yeah, constant retakes from Envy. We saw it a little bit on Robo Ramen, but with this hold onto Gay Clankers. So you have Cool actually moving forward, a 3-player down situation, completely turned things on its head and completely refuting the point I was about to mention. 44 points is a great total to have so far. Cool just trying to take out these remaining players. Cap is snuffed out, so is that sloshing machine. Will there be any more points scored on the board? The answer is yes. You have so much space being created just by these recycle umbrellas. They have a fair bit of health to really deal with, and they are such an annoying obstacle. Gay Clankers continuing to move forward. Sam with a few more as well. We'll leave this score total down to 14. Comrade really being the last player standing is snuffed out, but I mean, that one push completely turns the outlook of the rest of this game so far, Frostix.
Yeah, Envy is now within knockout range as they just need 2 more power clams to hit the basket. But as soon as I say that, Envy is now breaking Gay Clanker's basket. That's a Booyah Bomb headed for Sam's Crab. Already Comrade is going down. The barrier is still open for the Wiper to get some more clams in. They are able to get rid of Sam. They're still alive to keep those 5 clams in Envy's back pocket here. They do push the lead to 77. Not a bad start entirely here. They still have a pity in their base here. You're seeing the Wiper now moving in with this stamp. They are able to get rid of both the umbrella as well as the pencil here, and now the power clam is coming in. We're seeing Cap as well as I think the pencil trying to make things work. They are throwing more clams in, breaking past the 50 thresholds here. They're going into the 40s. Is that a second power clam I see from Teeny? Boom! A second power clam has hit the basket, pushing Envy's lead to 24.
There you go. Wouldn't be a clam blitz without your signature phrase. Sky trying to move in to see if they can get a couple more clams, but too little too late, as they'll just have to live to fight another day. Now, a little bit more of a digestible lead for Envy as it kind of chip away that, especially if you have Teeny and this Wiper still living there in the basket, and you have the jumps coming in. 2 balls are made, but Comrade snuffs out one of them, taking out what potentially could have looked like a very quick comeback, but really nicely done for the rest of Gay Clankers, specifically Sam and Comrade, to move in and snuff them out. Now, they tried to extend their own lead here with this crab.
Immediately getting shredded like cheese, and now 2 members down, both Comrade as well as Sam, those 2 members that you were mentioning earlier. It's only Cool and Fox left, and Envy are now moving in en masse here, but Comrade able to at least get rid of Teeny at the moment. Cool is now in a bit of a pinch here, being pressured out by Sky. They're able to get rid of the Brella. There's 3 specials online for Envy, and it's 2 power clams ready to go. This could be dastardly, but Cap's going down. 3 members down on Gay Clankers here. 1 power clam hitting the basket here, and boom! A second power clam, a 3rd power clam has hit the basket!
Wow.
And with that, Envy will get the knockout.
And we see just the coordination that this team has, just like clockwork. You saw 1, 2, 3, all the specials in the right place. You saw initially on that second push that they had a potential for even more to happen. Of course, we saw though that Gay Clankers was able to snuff it out with Comrade and Sam, but on that push, we saw all gears a-go constantly, the specials, the Booyah Bomb coming in, just the amount of clams they were able to get into their possession in a quick amount of time. It's a very underrated part about Clam Blitz in terms of just having the clam economy ready for when there's any opportunity to push in, you take it and you have the ammo to do so. And Envy just seemed to always have the ammo to do so.
Yeah, they just had their arsenal ready to deploy at moment's notice here. When you have that Booyah Bomb opening the push, then you have that Wiper clearing out the area, and that just allows that follow-up to happen. We saw during, I think, Envy's second push how long they kept that basket open. It was their score was 77, then they pushed it all the way down to 24 by getting, I think they did have a lot of good clam movement as soon as that barrier initially dropped, but then they kept it going with another power clam hitting the basket. So now Envy is at match point. They just need to take Rainmaker Manta Maria if they want to move on to finals.
Yes, a fairly uncommon map in terms of Rainmaker, but one of my favorites just in terms of the fact we get to see a little bit of Manta Maria action. But now being down 2-0, let's see if Gay Clankers has a little bit of adaptation. It's actually Envy that will be the ones adapting, at least first off, with those red dapples, having that cooler coming from your more front line, as well as Teeny moving over to the Rapid. On the other side, Cool switching over to the Decav.
Oh my god, yes! Teeny switching to the Rapid Blaster Pro means we get back action, and I've been on a rant. If you've been in my team server, you know I'm gonna say like, oh yeah, Vac's great, it's sucking the damage, it's shooting it back, and Teeny's gonna be able to get rid of Fox before going down to Cool, and now Gate Clankers is 2 down here, and already Sam is trying to spot out any potential flanks as the bubble has been moved onto at least one of the pedestals, but Cool is managing to keep their cool. Caster's Curse though, as soon as I say that, they get blown up by the Rainmaker shield. It's a mid-off and a half rocket.
Yeah, I mean, Comrade and Cool being those initial frontline slayers for Gate Clankers have to be the spearheads of the push, and so far they've been able to at least hold the line, hold the front line, but eventually you see Envy slowly but surely chipping away Teeny with that Rainmaker just moving up this elbow area. You have Comrade to worry about. Here comes Cool. I was talking about those two players completely shutting down the push, and they're already both in mid. Sam trying to clean things up as well, but just these very paint-hungry Slayer weapons happen to be really fed so much paint on the side of Gate Clankers, and so far, at least in this match so far, it has been doing wonders. Fox moving up this right side, trying to see if they can sneak something going, but it is a very difficult road to move forward, and we see why.
Oh yeah, they just get immediately gunned down in the streets of Manta Maria here, but already Comrade is going to pick up the slack. They will be able to finally break the first checkpoint after half of the match, but then I think we're seeing the Wiper Tickle immediately responding with a hammer to throw, shutting down almost all the members of Gate Clankers, and now with mid being painted predominantly orange, we're seeing Envy go down the same path that Gate Clankers went down and succeeding. They do get the checkpoint, but at least they are met with the strikes from Gate Clankers here. This definitely going to be a kill to climb at this point onward.
Yeah, Teeny has a Vac available. If Envy are able to move up that elbow area or find a vantage point, they're able to get it into time, but not if Comrade is alive. Just holding out that left side until the Rainmaker is reset, just giving Gate Clankers a lot more time to work with. Sky Cooler available as well, and so is this hammer coming out from Tickle, managing to find one. Can it find a second with the throw? At the very least, keeping Gate Clankers at bay with 2 players down, and here is the Vac you were talking about earlier, Frosting, completely leading the way for Envy to move in, and that is the strength of Vac right there, completely denying any resistance from Gate Clankers, as that is a very clean 3-0 in semifinals, punching Envy's ticket to finals.
I mean, what can I say? It's Ink Vac, it's sucker the damage, it's shooter it back. And that's what Envy deployed in that final push. It was, like, I will say, pushing Rainmaker from second checkpoint on Manta Maria can be really difficult, more so especially if you choose the left side, more so than the right here. But I think Envy just had the means to get going here. Of course, they are just really good at taking fights here, so they probably already had 2 members down on Gate Clankers, but then they brought out the Vac. I gotta say I don't even need to say the catchphrase again, and then that just allowed the Rainmaker holder to get a very, very clean walk up to that final checkpoint here. So it's like you said, Envy has their tickets punched to finals here. Gate Clankers going into the 3rd place match to whoever wins between Black Cap Chickadees and Shiny Coffee with Caffey.
Yeah, but I want to kind of go back to that last play as well, because, I mean, you had Comrade and you had Cool, the Dekev, and the Carbon, just being those closer range weapons that you want to be able to move into the Vac, as Vac may not have a certain effect with them if you get the angle right, but I mean, just the rest of the team, the rest of Envy were able to move in, make sure those players weren't a problem, and specifically Tickle as well on that hammer, managing to take out Comrade before they could even get anything going, and then the hammer to follow up as well. Just these players already know how to create so much space, and it's really all a space game when it comes down to it. It's just being able to create a clean lane open for your Rainmaker carrier. That's your goal, and Envy just did that absolutely flawlessly.
You know, maybe Tickle just has like a hit list that they just have like on a post-it note right next to their Switch screen or whatever's broadcasting their gameplay here. It's like priority targets, get rid of the Carbon, get rid of the Decav, and then it's like you said, they did that first to get rid of the weapons that could shut down the Vac. Of course, all Splatanas with a charge slash can take down a Vac in 1 slash, but correct me if I'm wrong, can rollers do that too?
I mean, I believe so. Just if you just get the right angle, but I mean, you had Teeny with the Vac, making it as difficult as possible. Even if there was a potential for someone to shoot around the Vac, I mean, Teeny just completely erased it. Just by the position of it. I thought they were going to use it earlier, but I mean, the way they were able to use it to allow the Rainmaker to drop in down to what could be very dangerous spaces just was absolutely perfect. And that's what you expect to see. And it's always a treat to see just how on key these top players are. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of it in finals.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna see a lot more of Envy here, and maybe potentially Black Cap Chickadee. They are at least 2-0 on their set against Shiny Coffee with Caffey, but it is still anyone's game at that point. There is at least still 3 more games that could come out of that.
Absolutely, but let's shift things a little bit away from the tournament for a second. We will do our signature ad read, of course, but I mean, not so signature in terms of it being just another ad read. We are talking about Super Jump number 6. Super Jump coming out on the 20th and 21st. Registration is still open, starting prize being $250. All teams welcome, all teams will make day 2, so it's just a giant tournament for all of you dear viewers down there. If you have your own teams or hey, want to play in a tournament, here we are. It is going to be on start.gg. Feel free to sign up, and like I mentioned, every team makes a bracket, so it's a good way to test how well you're doing and maybe go up and beat some people you know.
So far, 29 teams have registered to Super Jump 6. Some notable names going on right now. Blank Z's here. Jelly Squids is here. I'm not sure if this is more so. This is more so someone that I know, but Clan Ensemble's there. That's just because, like, at least one of my friends is there. But also, the previously mentioned Envy is showing up to that as well. PXG is also going to be there. Fructella is going to be there. Hypernova is going to be there. Please don't take this as a potential discouragement here. It's like Rocket said, all teams will make a bracket, and you know, if you've got what's it called, a weekend to spare with your team, give it a shot.
Absolutely, it is actually this Saturday and Sunday. I just checked the date, so yep, this Saturday and Sunday. So if you got the time, be sure to check it out. But with that contractual obligation out of the way, we'll be taking a very quick break as, like you saw a little bit earlier, Black Cap's Chickadee is currently up 2-0 against Shiny Coffee with Caffey, so we'll have to wait and see how that one ends as we await the finale of Swimmer Sync 201. Welcome back to the conclusion of Swimmer Sync number 201. My name is Rocket, joined by FrostX. We are still here looking at the 1 and 2 seed respectively. It was Envy who was able to get the better of Gay Clankers, and Black Capped Chickadees taking the better over their opponents in Shiny Coffee with Caffeine. So we have a best of 5 in store for us here to determine it all.
We have seen both of these teams before. We on the side of Black Cap Chickadee, who we saw first. Of course, you've got that dynamic frontline duo of acing on Luna usually, but they brought out S-Blast mostly during their set against this guy Can Play Not Mini, and also Pika, who is just in your backline with the Gal, but also with Luna and Shallow as well on the midline and the backline, and Envy, who has a also is very aggressive in their own right, with Tickle on the Wiper and with Cap on the Junior, and also Teeny on the Machine, with Sky I think with Sky holding everything down on the pencil.
Yes, and we know you're talking about the aggressiveness that Black Cap Chickadee just possesses in terms of their weapons. You saw how aggressive Pika is playing that Gal, and I mean, of course, with those buffs, you see how strong of a weapon is, and then being flanked by acing, just moving in such a dynamic duo to really cause some damage. But on the other side, Envy has some very strong weapons of their own. Teeny playing Junior to the extremes that I have not seen before, I believe, out of really any other player. Tickle, of course, being on that Wiper as well to kind of assist in that. So you have some star power fireworks from both sides. Starting things off, though, we'll be moving to Mako Mart zones, which I'm sure you have some opinions about in terms of what we've seen between these two teams in terms of weapons.
Yeah, I'm unsure maybe if Splat Zones Mako could necessarily. Actually, I feel like Splat Zones Mako, I think Zones as a whole is just a really good skill check mode, just able to kind of, like I said, gauge how the enemy team likes to play their game of Splatoon. I wouldn't doubt that I think these players may have scrimmed against each other somehow. I mean, like, why? Like, you'd normally expect to be running up against a Blaster if acing is there. You'd normally expect to be playing up against a Sword of Swords if Tickle is there. So at least you know that here. But I think what really matters, I think, on Mako Mart specifically is at least if you can contest some high ground here. Both of these teams have the means to do that. We'll just have to see how much they can output.
We're seeing a almost similar comp from what we saw from Envy previously, but that Tri-Slosher being the main difference. Tri-Slosher, such a powerful weapon on Mako Mart in particular, just because of the stack area, just how much space it can control, and the nature of the weapon. That is the bomb and screen version, just allowing for some more sneaky plays coming out from Envy.
Oh, definitely. It'll help the Wiper and the Junior just get up even faster. But right now, Teeny's taking some damage from acing here. 2 members down on Envy, and the zone is immediately flipped by Black Cap Chickadee. We're seeing acing trying to move in on Cap's domain, but they get splatted down by Cap, who is now, I think, awaiting respawns from the rest of Black Cap, or on the rest of Envy at the moment.
Yeah, Pika also switching to the Deco version of Gal with a screen of their own, so both sides throwing smoke screens at each other. It's really kind of a chess match in terms of what we're seeing with these weapons. Both sides have weapons that really are beneficial to this map in particular. You saw that 3-player down situation now leading Envy to the success, and you have the hammer managing to at least find the trade on that right side, but so far even playing field throughout, as Envy will take a very short lead.
Yeah, they do at least establish themselves out of the 60 threshold, moving in to the 50s. There are 3 specials online: Hammer, Screen, and Strikes, but the Screen's getting canceled out here. Tickle's going down as well here, but here comes the Strikes now from Luna. Will this be the herald of a potential Black Cap Chickadees retake? But they get shut down. There's 2 members down, and Envy is right back in control of the zone and are now entering the 20 threshold. And Screen from teams to potentially ward off any more Black Cap Chickadee members.
Yeah, time ticking down, time running out for Black Cap Chickadee to make this one contested. Teeny managing to get the jump onto acing. The trip strikes will go out, but will the players be there enough to cap the zone? They will be, just barely keeping Black Cap Chickadee's hopes and dreams alive in this one, but it is going to be a tough hill to climb back up to. That 2-point remaining mark is what Envy is working with here, and they look to show no signs of slowing down, constantly taking these fights, and yet again they're back in business in zone.
Yeah, we're seeing Tickle trying to at least get the ledge going, but they get canceled out here. There is at least 2 members down on both sides here. We're seeing MCF Doom trying to keep things going on left stack, but they get shut down. I think 2 Tickle on the wipe right now. Envy is right back in control here. They're cruising through the 72 points penalty really quickly. They're already into the 40s, entering the 30s soon enough, but Acing has a stamp ready to go, ready to potentially turn the tides here as the zone does get flipped. Envy's penalty reset to 63 here. There's still a lot of time left in this match for Black Cap Chickadees to get things going.
Yes, Pika poking up this right side, seeing if they can get the jump on Teeny. They are taken out themselves, so now 4v3 retake will be had. Now 3v3 retake as Trip Strike's already forced out by Black Cap Chickadees just to try to buy themselves a little bit more time. Envy are playing with house money, though. They have to just play this a little bit patiently, especially since you have Cap's bubble to really work with, but you can't wait too long. You don't want to cause yourself to get into that stagger situation. Teeny goes down yet again, though. Hammer being forced out, and these specials aren't quite finding their marks yet on the side of Envy. Of course, when I say that, you have Doom going down to that Hammer. 2 players in the zone. You have Tickle finding 3 in total, and that might be the backbreaker, allowing Envy to move into zone. Oh my goodness, a wipeout is caused on the top of that, and if Tickle wasn't able to get that triple, we'd be looking at this as a completely different game.
Yeah, Black Cap Chicken was deadly close to getting that lead right back from Envy, but they just respond with aggression in spades, and now with almost 1 minute left on the clock, Envy is right back in control of the zone here. Meanwhile, Black Cap Chickadee has all their specials online. The screen comes out, the strikes come out, the cooler comes out. All we just need is the stamp from Acing, and here it flies. This will be all specials thrown out by Black Cap Chickadees to recap this zone here. There's already 2 members down, both Teeny as well as Tickle here, and then now also the pencil and potentially Cap for a delayed wipe. There it is. That is a delayed wipe for Black Cap Chickadees here. There's 45 seconds left on the clock here and a lot more penalty points to break through. Will this have to work? Will the lead be taken back? We'll just have to see with 30 seconds left on the clock, Rocket.
Yeah, Pika already trying to take the fight straight to Envy. 2 players down. Doom forcing out these strikes just to buy some more time. And yet again, we are in that situation we saw earlier. Can Envy pull off this retake? Time is running out. They're already 1 player down. Cap is not available. Acing, managing to take out that Hammer, but here comes the Tri-Slosher moving in. It won't be enough as Black Cap Chickadee will live to fight another day, taking game 1 in a very back and forward game.
Back and forward indeed, Rocket. We saw both teams being deadly close to knocking out here. We saw Envy basically Envy really close to the knockout. We also saw Black Cap Chickadee fighting their way to get this knockout, which got them game 1 here. And I think I think already opening the sets here, we were already seeing a lot out of both of these teams.
I mean, absolutely. There were so many instances in which we could have seen Envy really hold on to that one, but it was the retakes by Black Cap Chickadee that really left me surprised. I mean, Envy pretty much had them dead to rights on that initial hold. Reminder, they were at that 2-point mark. If Black Cap Chickadee wasn't able to get in that retake, it would have been already a quick, pretty much 100-0 retake, but the constant just speed that Black Cap Chickadee played with, and yet again, Pika just moving in, getting those 2 key picks to basically open the door for Black Cap Chickadee to continue those points moving forward was just phenomenal to see.
Definitely. And I think it's really interesting that both of these teams were running screen in this instance here. This is I think the first time we've seen Pika run the Deco 52 gal here, but I think it is good for just getting a push going here, just providing a wall of aura, as I will call it now. It's just intimidating, and it will be slowly moving forward, and if you step even closer to it, you will be hindered by the looks of things. So this is game 2. What's in store?
Barnacle and Dime, a switching of the comps. We will have a Stamper coming out on the other side. Pretty much same story coming out from Black Cap Chickadee. I mean, if it worked once, it will work again. This time, though, instead of Barnacle and Dime zones, we'll be moving to Barnacle and Dime clams. Pretty much played similarly in terms of controlling mid. We saw how dominant Black Cap Chickadee was on zones Barnacle. Let's see if that magic can continue here. We know how dangerous Acing can be if left unaccounted for.
and how dangerous they can be without a tickle to worry about already. They're going down first. Pika's going down as well. 2 members of Black Cap Chickadee going down, however, as Envy is starting to mobilize, trying to contest Splat, already taking up mid in orange paint here. Already a lot of chips and indirects are flying out from the Stamper, from the machine, and here comes the wall of aura from Pika. And meanwhile, Teeny over here aura farming with the Booyah Bomb, trying to throw it into Street to get rid of Acing. But Pika, the flank is beginning. They are able to get rid of Sky before jumping out to safety to the safe graces of MTF Doom. But now here comes Acing with a stamp of their own to potentially retake mid, throwing it to Teeny's way, not claiming any targets. Whoa, wait, they are able to get rid of Teeny, actually. Sorry, there was a delayed, perhaps, kill on Acing's end.
Yes, and Acing still moving forward, taking this plat area. You see how much respect the members of Envy have to put on Acing, managing to get one onto Cap as well, and being a one Inkling, Octoling, Wrecking Machine moving forward. MTF Doom has the strikes available, has the clams available, but the players fall in front of them. 2 players down in total. Will halt this Black Cap Chickadee push, at least momentarily, but the strikes now being invested. It is go time for these players to try to make something out of this push, but yet again, Envy have met them like a brick wall.
Yeah, they just stopped them with their firepower, with their positioning here. 2 members down. It's only MTF Doom at the moment, and their pincher, they're going down in Plat, which immediately gives a lot more positioning space to Envy. Teeny's throwing that Booyah Bomb deep, and Cap's gonna throw that first power clam to the basket here. Sky is almost at a second here. This could be volatile here. Already Pika's going down first. Sky's moving in to throw their power clams in, pushing it to that 60-point threshold that is ideal for an opening push here. But already we're halfway through the match here. We've only got to 59 here. Now that is a number I'm more liking here. The basket is still open, and there's 2 members down on Black Cap Chickadees, and Envy. Oh no, is that a second power climb I see in the back pocket of Teeny? Boom, a second power climb has hit the basket.
Yes, and the constant pressure by Envy has created so much space for them that they didn't really need to jump in the power climb. All Teeny had to do was just walk it forward and make its way into the basket. Now, scoreless still is Black Cap Chickadee. They were looking very promising to hold control in mid, but all it took was one fast counterattack for Envy to respond. And here they are again, causing a 2-player down situation. Things can look very dangerous for Black Cap Chickadee if they aren't careful. Yet again, being pushed onto the back foot. You see 3 players on this plat area just snowballing this push.
Cap was in a really tricky situation there, being faced with Acing's hammer, and now Envy is 2 members down. We're already seeing Acing and Pika move in. The Batman and Robin of Black Cap Crusade, not Crusade, but Chickadee is starting to move in, but I think they're starting to be a little bit more hesitant here. Probably at least wise to at least play for numbers in the present moment, build for specials. They only have the strikes ready to go, but they are trying to strike on Cap. No, Acing does go down. Doom's also going down to tickle Stamper, and there's 3 members down. This push is over before it can even begin. And now Envy is moving in with 2 power clams. Wait, 3! Second power clam, a 3rd power clam has hit the basket. And now there's only 1 clam left that Envy needs to throw in order for a knockout. It's left to only tickle, and they're in a 2v1. The basket is up, however. There is at least 1 minute, 15 seconds left for Black Cap Chickadee to take a knockout away if they want to win this match.
And that really doesn't surprise me, just based on what we saw from Envy in that previous set. You saw how fast they were on Umami Ruins, and we saw it here yet again. 1, 2, 3 balls being formed. Just having the ammunition, having the potential to completely change things in one opportunity is what Envy has done well. Now, though, Black Cap Chickadee have to just answer it with something, as so far yet again they are scoreless. MTF Doom does have trip strikes available, so does the Luna having their hammer, so the ammunition is there, but can the execution find it? You do have Pika going down already early. Acing investing this hammer just to try to chase away Sky. The trade will be had, but it will not be favorable to Black Cap Chickadee, who are now running out of players, running out of time, and most importantly running out of clams here, as you see Envy just constantly poking away at these members.
Gotten to the point where Black Cap Chickadee now needs to pick up the pity climb if they want to make this work. It's definitely going to have to potentially work into overtime, and Pika just can't catch a break. They're already going down. Acing's moving in to potentially get rid of Teeny, but here comes the Booyah Bomb. The strikes come out from MTF Doom. The hammer comes out from Acing. Overtime is now on. Acing has gone down here, and Black Cap Chickadee haven't even entered courts, and meanwhile Envy is storming mid. Both Shallow and Pika have gone down here. Doom is trying to run out from Cap, but Acing is the last one standing. They are able to get rid of Tickle, but Teeny, as well as the rest of Envy, Envy are moving in, and Acing has gone down. Oh no, Pika still has the power climb left, but there's no more time in overtime.
You can see the emotions running high there with Genie with that squid bag. You have fireworks already. One apiece for both these sides, and they're on the strengths that we typically see them on with Black-Cap Chickadee. We saw how dangerous they can be on zones, and right there we saw how dangerous Envy can be on clams. Just the constant snowballing, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but just how fast they're able to move forward and get these clams in just in a matter of moments. Like, I mean, you saw it there, Frostix. We saw only 2 balls being formed, and then a third one just with some spare clams that just happened to be there completely changed the course of this game and make it such a dire situation for Black-Cap Chickadee start from finish. But here is the equalizer. Let's see which team will pull out to that 1-game lead, as this will break the tie no matter what. Rainmaker, Undertow, Spillway being our game 3.
We've seen Black-Cap Chickadee on this before here when they were going up against this guy Can Play Not Mini, and specifically that team was one that was also running Wiper here, so I imagined that the members of Black-Cap Chickadee potentially have some anti-Wiper tactics in mind here, something to deal with its survivability, its ability to fight. But I think within that second match there wasn't even a Wiper to deal with. You had a whole different beast in the hands of Tickle, that being the Splatana Stamper. So now it's kind of a matter of what is in store from Black-Cap Chickadee, what is in store from Envy. Is Tickle going to stay on Stamper? Are they going to go back to Wiper? Is Acing going to stay on Luna? Are they going to go to S-Blast maybe in this instance? Because we saw Acing on S-Blast on Undertow Spillway 2 sets ago, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and it can be a very powerful weapon. Honestly, at this point, it comes down to personal preference of how you want to play it. If you want to play this very aggressive playstyle that Black-Cap Chickadee is accustomed to, I would, of course, stick with that Luna Blaster, but we've seen how Envy have responded with their own aggression in the rights of just being able to move in off of their paint control, so it really brings up that dilemma. Now, with it being a best-of-3 back to best-of-3 format with only 3 games potentially remaining, let's see how these teams adjust, as we've already seen some minor changes here and there.
So we're seeing Tickle go back to Wiper, Cap going to Gecko Splash. That's also an interesting thing, and we're also seeing I think we're seeing MTF Doom still on Neo Splash, but Gecko Splash is going to be an interesting new force on the side of Envy. Already, the bubble is primarily being popped by Black-Cap Chickadee. Acing is moving in, but they are alone in this instant. They get splatted by Cap, but here comes the wall of aura from Pika, but that doesn't matter here. Tickle's going to be able to get rid of the gal, no problem. MTF Doom is trying to move in, but they are being slowed by the Toxic Mist here. They're going down. Same thing with Acing, and with 2 members down on Black-Cap Chickadees, I think it's finally time for Envy to start pushing.
Yes, Tickle finding that last one onto Doom as well will allow a very great opportunity for Envy to get this goal. Will they be able to make it there in time? The Tri-Strikes will buy a little bit of time, but the Booyah Bomb coming out from that sloshing machine to counter, causing the Rainmaker to be actually contested. 3 players down on the side of Envy will force Tickle to run for the hills, trying to survive. We'll get the better of Doom actually, and now 1v1 situation will be had. A little bit of a stalemate to be had, but I mean, with that bringing out that Gecko Splash, you have a different type of support, and that type of support really just is being an annoyance with those Toxic Mists.
Not just mist, but also with rain providing more chip damage for Black Chip. It's a constant present chip damage if you're Black-Cap Chickadees, and potentially a lot more space to work with if you are Envy, specifically I'd say Tickle here. Of course, you always need to remember, rain can heal, but now as I say this, we're seeing the hammer get cancelled out by Tickle here. They're able to get rid of Pika as well, potentially Shallow, but Shallow's being able to jump out, and finally Tickle's going to go down to Doom. There's at least 1 member down on each team. It's still a mid-off scenario right now. Sky is just sitting beside that Rainmaker. Shallow's trying to get their rotors going here, and I'm just not seeing a lot of movement at the present moment.
Yeah, reset to pretty much neutral. Eventually, the Tri-Strikes will break a little bit of space for Blackcap Chickadee to move forward towards his left side, being answered by specials. Both teams being able to respond to each other's specials. The lead will be taken by Blackcap Chickadee, but surprisingly so far, with almost half of the match to go, neither side has been able to get past that first checkpoint. Usually a given when you're able to snowball, at least get that first teamfight win, but on this map can be very difficult to do so now. We'll just have to wait and see if we see any adaptations in terms of how these teams like to try to approach this, as so far each special that's being popped has been promptly responded by the other side.
Specials for specials here, and Acing has been bombed out here. No Luna in the meantime. The strikes come out from Doom, and Tickle's trying to go deep into Blackcap Chickadee's backline here. There's two members down on Blackcap Chickadee. However, Acing's trying to move in, trying to get some chip jams onto Sky, who is now running with the Rainmaker like Arsene Lupin. They are able to at least get an orange brick road secured for the checkpoint here, assisted by Cap, but they are met with the Neo Splash of MTF Doom. Here comes the rain from the Gecko Splash. There's a Booyah Bomb also coming. Acing's gone down to the Rainmaker. It's two members down on Blackcap Chickadee, and Sky is able to finally get to the checkpoint after 4 minutes.
And now an opportunity for Envy to push this one even further. Points come at a premium after the checkpoint is popped, so will we see a little bit of an advance? Yes, we will, all the way down to the 51 point mark. Any further will not be had, but with 2 players down on the side of Blackcap Chickadee, this could be a great moment for Envy to move in. Pika's flank needs to hit home. It will find one, at least denying the push forward, at least temporarily, but Blackcap Chickadee's point at this point is just to stop the bleeding. 2 players down yet again, and we see Doom managing to get the pick onto the Rainmaker carrier Cap. But so far, Blackcap Chickadee definitely playing with fire here, as all members of Envy are on that elbow area.
Yeah, and then we're seeing Tickle go down the conveniently hammer-shaped tunnel, but Acing choosing to make the sacrifice play to reset the Rainmaker here. There's 2 members, now 3 members down on Envy, but Teeny is just a 1-person armada. They finally, however, get stopped by MTF Doom, and now Acing is trying to win the pop-off against Cap here. They are able to stay alive once the bubble pops before finally going down to Tickle, who's now going in. Here comes the screen. 2 members down on both sides, less than 40 seconds remaining. The lead is still attainable if you are Blackcap Chickadee, but you need to make it all the way through mid and a little bit past the first checkpoint here. The strikes are ready to go. They are coming out from MTF Doom. Will this paint the path? Will this be the herald of things to come? The Rainmaker has been picked up by Shallow already, though Pika's going down. Acing is trying to charge their way forward, being met by Cap. They are trying to just find a way in, but they're being met by so many different problems at so many different spots, whether that is Acing, whether that is Tickle, or if it's Cap. And they're choosing to actually to go to the right side around this time before finally Shallow's going down. 2 hammers coming out here. Tickle's going down, Acing's going down. It's only MTF Doom left here, and Cap is making a mad dash for the Rainmaker, and that will end overtime, preventing Blackcap Chickadee from getting any more points on the board, and Envy will have a lead in the set now.
Yeah, Envy with now back-to-back game wins, looking very good. Seemingly found their momentum after a very rough and very close game 1. On the other side now, if you're on the side of Blackcap Chickadee, you have to take it 1 game at a time. Now, with your backs up against the wall, what can you change? What can you adapt to this? Now, with moving over to TC Inkplot Art Academy, a lot of different things can be said in terms of how to approach this one. Now, with Acing and Blaster here, I mean, those 2 things just fit together like peanut butter and jelly. Just the ledges, the amount of space, you're really able to work with that. But not only in the sense of that aspect, you kind of have to make it work here. If not, Envy can just end it outright, of course. So this is where you need to bring out your hallelujah plan, just whatever you have left just to make it happen.
Both of these teams have, of course, just a really good aggressive core. On the side of Envy, that is going to be Tickle, as well as potentially either Teeny or Cap, whoever is going to go in with Tickle. And on the side of Blackcap Chickadee, like I said, the Batman and Robin of their front line, Acing, as well as Pika here. And basically, I'd already imagined that we're going to see both of like those players specifically try to aim to contest bats once they start getting that tower rolling here. Already trying to take up a lot of good space here. Luna 52, so Luna 52, Wiper, one of the splashes, as well as Machine, I'd say, maybe Machine less so, can play really well within bats and also just within really more crowded areas, which surprisingly Inkplot Art Academy has a fair bit of. So it really just depends on, I think, more so the space control, at least within the early game, and who can steal that the pace of the momentum first.
Absolutely. Time is ticking now, though. A little bit of time to be had. I'm sure now Black Cap Chickadee just seeing what they can change here, as we will be taking a little bit more time to pull into this game 4. But if game 5 is needed, I mean, Splat Zone's Hagglefish is the classic sandbox to do it on if we so need it. But I mean, if you're on the side of Black Chickadee, you need to force that game even to start off with. And there is the change right there. Pika changing over to the Kraken shot instead of the Gal. I do like that choice just because the special will work a lot better here on tower.
Meanwhile, Teeny has gone back to Ash and tried to equip a wall of aura of their own here. That's definitely good, at least for potentially warding any resistance during a push already. MTF do have the strikes ready to go already. Both the Clamor shot, the Head It, and the Wiper have gone down. 2 members down to Black Cap Chickadee. Yeah, once again, Tickle's going down, but that won't stop Envy from pushing the tower just a little bit to establish a very early lead of 94. But they're 2 members down. Black Cap Chickadee are starting to match their aggression, starting to check them when they need it most. It's still a big mid-off, but with this screen and a Kraken coming out from Pika, this could go in one team's direction.
Absolutely. You have Pika moving in with that Kraken. So much space being created now moving forward is Black Cap Chickadee, but the players aren't there. The fights aren't being won. 2 players down in total will leave MTF Doom running for the hills. Trip Strikes interestingly used pretty early here just to try to stabilize things, but it does at least accomplish the mission of rallying back and regrouping the remaining members of Black Cap Chickadee as they continue to move in here. The Wiper moving forward, trying to see if they can get anything going. Tickle trying to be very dangerous here, is snuffed out by acing. That is a 1-for-1 trade that will be had here, but yet again, it has been all neutral so far. Neither side has been able to get a firm grasp in control for the tower.
The lead is only by a couple of points, which is immediately taken back by Black Cap Chickadees. We have not seen any of these teams break to the first checkpoint, but with 2 members down on Black Cap Chickadee and with Tickle already trying to ledge things out, things are changing, and the checkpoint has finally been broken by Envy here. We're seeing Sky in the driver's seat of the tower here. The Soda has come out, and Envy is just eyeing bats with intents to push here. They're trying back out into mid, but they go down. The specials are now being committed by Black Cap Chickadee. The strikes, the Kraken, and the Hammer, finally flushing out the members of Envy as the tower coasts back to mid.
Absolutely. Pika trying to make something happen on this right side. Kraken, such a very powerful special in terms of tower, just basically denying any base or any presence, can completely shut down a push or can completely continue a push. That's just the flexibility of the special. Trip Strikes being invested yet again to make something happen on this left side. Acing has a hammer ready, trying to get the better of Cap, somehow managing to actually go down to that in a 3-player down situation, with Pika being the last to fall as well, will lead Envy to continue to mount this push yet again, making more pressure onto the side of Black Cap Chickadee.
With Acing Stamp going in, it will at least get rid of Sky before 3 members go down on Black Cap Chickadee. It's only Pika left here, and they are immediately outnumbered in tree here. They are going down to Cap, who has a bubble ready to go. That's already really good if you can get that up on the tower or up on a forward location on a highly contested spot like Bats. Already Acing's gone down. Here comes the bubble to potentially shield from the strikes here, but no one can potentially outrun Touch of Death. Actually, I think they managed to stay alive. There's 2 members down on Black Cap Chickadee here, and Envy's getting closer to the second checkpoint now. The third and Tickle on a rampage.
Absolutely breaking the backs of Black Cap Chickadee there, completely controlling all of that area and almost forcing the knockout situation take a bow. Now, even more pressure, a tougher hill to climb for Black Cap Chickadee, as they have yet to get past a single checkpoint. MTF Doom going down as well. Envy looking very strong and unified, just constantly being able to hold Black Cap Chickadee in mid. It has just been constant back and forward, but Envy has not budged a single inch.
Yeah, have not, and they're in a really strong position. 8 points left to knock out, 2 members down consistently here. It's only Doom as well as Pika left with 1 minute left on the clock. All members of Black Cap Chickadee have now respawned, and they're trying to get rid of Tickle, which they do. The strikes come out from the splash here. They are now starting to trickle into mid here. We're seeing Doom trying to contest the stacks, forcing someone to jump out. Cap is out here. Sky's also jumping out here, but Tickle's still in the fight before going down. Teeny is unseen at the moment here. They're able to get rid of Acing before any more further aggression here. Pika has popped the Kraken now to potentially have more staying power here as they're trying to at least trickle into bats here. That Kraken is running out, and the numbers are also starting to count down here. Pika's in an isolated 2v1. They go down. It's only Acing left on the tower here. They are able to get rid of Sky before going down. There is only 15 seconds left for Black Cap Chickadees to get this lead back. This needs to work in overtime. There are still 3 members. The jumps are coming in. Tickle has gone down. Someone needs to get on tower. Acing will potentially be the one to do it here. There's 3 members down. It's only Sky here. Both Shallow and MTF Doom are now on that tower, and overtime has begun. The cooler is almost ready to go. There's also a Kraken ready for Pika. That's good for staying on the tower here. The Kraken has come out here, and it's contesting bats alongside Acing. They're past that second checkpoint, but Shallow has gone down. It's only MTF Doom riding the tower at the moment while Pika and Acing try to weather the storm here, and there's only 2 members left here. Shallow's going down, and Pika can't get on tower as the members of Envy close out overtime to win Swimmer Sync 201.
Oh my goodness, that was an absolute nail biter. There was a great opportunity for Black Cap Chickadee to continue snowballing that one out of control. I mean, you saw MTF Doom have the trip strikes available, but I believe it was a stray bomb or a stray shot somewhere that was able to take them out before the trip strikes could have been had. I mean, I'd seen the snowball happening before it was like really got rolling. I mean, you had the Kraken being popped out, you had the cooler being popped out as well, and then to follow the trip strikes. If they were able to land, we could be seeing a completely different story, as you saw most of the members of Envy just kind of stuck near their spawn area.
Yeah, and especially when you had the Kraken as well as the Luna Blaster contesting bat, it basically becomes a no-go zone. You don't want to walk in there with the threat of a Blaster one-shotting you or going down to the hippity hops of a Kraken Royale here. But it just seems that the storm just always comes back with heavier rain, and that storm's name is Envy, your winners of SOS 201 here. And we're also seeing what happened in 3rd place match. Unfortunately, Gay Clankers couldn't match Shiny Coffee with Caffey, so now that is your leaderboard, with Envy in 1st, Black Cap Chickadee in 2nd, and Shiny Coffee with Caffey in 3rd. So another week, another Swimmer Sync said and done, Rocket.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously a very nail-biting fashion. These 3 teams that stand above did wonderful. As a matter of fact, all the teams did wonderful in this wonderful tournament. So, of course, obligatory thank you for watching as well. And thank you to our players for playing in SOS. Of course, we have some housekeeping as always. Frostix, where can the people find you?
Of course, the good people of Twitch chat can find me on Blue Sky below, not necessarily below, but you can find me on Blue Sky at frostix.bluesky.social. You can find me on Twitter at TK_Frostix. I'm Frostix basically everywhere, YouTube, Discord. I don't mind talking. And if you want to support some of my own personal work, you could read my web novel Gap Year on Wattpad. That's aside from the point. I'm getting sidetracked. Rocket, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me at Rocket1 on Blue Sky. You can also find me at Rocket_Splat on Twitch. Sometimes I will just be streaming my competitive X rank battles, or just whenever I play some tournaments. But those are really the only 2 places you can find me. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to our wonderful Justin, as always, for streaming SOS, and we will see you next time.